Chapter 793. What? Wang Rulong didn't expect his uncle to have such a sinister plan. As expected of the Wang family's brain, he always used the tactic of borrowing someone else's knife to kill. Unfortunately, this kid was very cautious and didn't agree. Otherwise, this kid would definitely die. Then what do we do now? Wang Rulong asked quickly. He knew that his intelligence couldn't compare to his uncle's. He immediately asked for advice, wanting to know how to kill this kid. It's okay if you don't get on the boat. Wang Tong waved his hand. I just wanted to try. Since it didn't work, I'll change to another method. Actually, we don't need to do much. As long as we leak the news that this kid plans to go to Myriad Treasures Island, then there won't be any problems. Those monster kings who hate him to the bone will all come to him and skin him alive. He laughed coldly, extremely ruthless. Yes, let's do it this way. Wang Rulong's eyes lit up. But I didn't think that this kid would actually offend so many people. So many monster kings of the Thousand Monster Mountain want him dead. What exactly did he do to offend the heavens? He was very curious. What kind of status did a monster king have? For normal masters they were like gods. But now the gods actually said that they would personally kill a master. If they didn't have a lot of hatred, they wouldn't put down their pride and go kill a master. This kid is incredible. He's good at causing trouble, Wang Tong said faintly. He told him everything that Xiaoping had done. What? After hearing these words, Wang Rulong's body trembled violently. This was because each and every one of these things was world-shaking and earth-shattering. Ordinary people would have died long ago. How could they be alive and kicking like they were now? No wonder this guy wasn't afraid of the Wang family. He even killed a master of the Wang family without any restraint. He even dared to offend a monster king. Who else wouldn't he dare to offend? A mere Wang family was nothing. He didn't care at all. Anyway, this kid had too many debts. Thinking about this, he secretly rejoiced. Luckily, he admitted defeat in time and didn't resist stubbornly. Otherwise, this demon could kill him with one slap and he would die for nothing. Also, according to this kid's background, even if he killed him, the Wang family could only leave it be. They wouldn't dare to take revenge. But to be absolutely safe, we still have to follow him. A cold light flashed in Wang Tong's eyes. Follow him at all times and locate his whereabouts from time to time. Don't let him escape. Uncle, I want to go with you on this trip to Myriad Treasures Island. I want to see how that brat dies. Wang Rulong gritted his teeth, and his hatred overflowed to the heavens. Wang Tong looked deeply at Wang Rulong and said, All right, if you want to go, then let's go together. However, this operation is very dangerous. It wouldn't be strange even if you die. It's fine, uncle. I've already made up my mind. Wang Rulong clenched his fists. His determination to see Xiaoping die had even overcome the fear in his heart. All right. Wang Tong nodded and agreed to go with Wang Rulong. In any case, the elites of the Wang clan would follow them to the Myriad Treasures Island. It couldn't be said to be foolproof, but it would reduce a lot of risks. Not long after, the news of Xiaoping going to the Myriad Treasures Island was secretly leaked by Wang Tong. In order to distance himself from the Wang clan, he used all kinds of tricks to cover up the traces of the Wang clan's actions. Soon, the intelligence system of the Xin army noticed this news. Hua Gang, Chao Jingbin, and the other core students also received this news. All of them were overjoyed. Found it. We finally found the bastard Xiaoping's whereabouts. This is great. Let's see where he can run to this time. This brat has been doing quite well recently. He actually wants to go to Myriad Treasures Island to search for treasures. He's living a good life. He's living a good life, but we're all living a life worse than death. We can't let him continue to be complacent. Otherwise, when he really becomes a king, we won't have any hope of revenge in this lifetime. Right? Immediately notify those beast kings and tell them to kill this brat. This time, we'll also go to Myriad Treasures Island to find trouble with that brat. But we're in the Xin army. We can't go anywhere. That's nothing. I found a mission that happens to be near the Myriad Treasures Island. We can find an excuse to temporarily leave and secretly go to the Myriad Treasures Island. We're not running away anyway. The evil army will turn a blind eye to it. Not bad. This is a good plan. Let's do it this way. I want to see how that brat dies. Otherwise, I won't be able to swallow this. I'll never forget this for the rest of my life. Many core students clenched their teeth as murderous intent appeared in their eyes. To the culprit who caused them so much trouble and forced them to join the Xin army, they wanted nothing more than to kill him. Xiaoping, this time, it's your turn to be unlucky. Just you wait. I will watch how you go to hell. Hua Gang clenched his fists. He couldn't wait to go to Myriad Treasures Island. Inside the Thousand Monster Mountain, many beast kings also received the news from Huigang's group. Sure enough, finding a human for help was the right thing to do. Finally found that human. Does he think hiding in the endless sea means he won't die? Move out. Immediately send out all the beast kings in the endless sea. Kill that brat. He dares to auction off the demon race's pride. He has made our 1,000 monster mountain lose face and become a laughing stock. If we don't kill this human, our 1,000 monster mountain will lose face. To make sure nothing goes wrong, immediately send out 5 beast kings to kill this brat. 5 beast kings? Isn't this making a big deal out of nothing? No, not at all. No one knows what kind of trump card this brat has up his sleeves. Even a lion will use all its strength to catch a rabbit. There's only one chance. If we fail, I'm afraid it'll be difficult to find another chance like this. You're right. To make sure nothing goes wrong, it's worth it to make more preparations. This time, we must kill that human and let the entire cloud world know how powerful our 1,000 monster mountain is. Those who offend our 1,000 monster mountain will be killed no matter how far they are. The Tiger King, the Raven King, the Battle Rabbit King, and the other beast kings gritted their teeth. It was the first time they had such a deep desire to kill a human junior. They hated him to the bone. Apart from their hatred for that human, they were also shocked and afraid of his talent. If he were to become a king and continue to grow, he would become an invincible king. At that time, they would lose their balance with the human's high-end combat power, which would cause their 1,000 monster mountain to suffer heavy losses in the future. Therefore they needed to eliminate the root of the problem now. Whoosh, whoosh. Chapter 794. The next day on the Endless Sea, a ship was sailing. But this ship only had Xia Ping and Jianghu. It didn't need anyone else. This ship was controlled by the AI, and could sail freely after setting the route. And this ship was bought by Xia Ping for 10 billion federal coins. His purpose was to go to Myriad Treasures Island. Because Myriad Treasures Island was covered in dark clouds for hundreds of miles, it was in extreme weather. The sky was filled with thunder and storms, making it impossible for ships to fly there. Only by sailing on the sea could they reach there. Therefore, Xia Ping didn't use the luminous god that was already in his spatial ring. Of course, the most important thing was that he didn't want to expose his trump card. I didn't expect this operation to attract so many enemies. Fine, I'll take advantage of this opportunity and slaughter them all. Xia Ping's eyes revealed a cold killing intent as he clenched his fists. Through the system, he knew that his whereabouts on this trip to Myriad Treasures Island had been leaked by the Wang family. Not only had Huigang and the other core students been attracted, but even the various monster kings had come. It could be said that this trip to Myriad Treasures Island would be a huge killing field. If I slaughter all these monster kings, I'll be able to thoroughly hurt them. I estimate that after a long period of time, they won't dare to act rashly. Xia Ping didn't escape. Instead, he wanted to set a trap and kill all these monster kings. If he kept hiding, the enemy wouldn't be afraid of him. Only by killing them would they know what it means to be in awe. Therefore, he absolutely wouldn't let these monster kings and his enemies go. These monster kings wanted to kill him, so how could he not want to kill them? Xia Ping. Jianghu stared at the screen, which showed the environment within a 10-mile radius. There are several warships following us. They seem to be from the Wang family. They've been following us. This ship had an advanced radar detection system that could explore the surrounding environment. It could even penetrate hundreds of meters into the sea and predict the attack of deep-sea monsters in advance. She sighed with emotion. If the ship she was on before had such an advanced radar detection system, they might have been able to avoid the attack of the fishermen pirates. But this was just a thought. After all, just installing such a detection system would cost 5 billion federal coins, which was equivalent to the value of this ship. How could ordinary martial artists afford it? Wang clan. Xia Ping raised his eyebrows. He tapped on the screen, and with a ding, a virtual projection immediately popped up, showing 2 or 3 battleships in the distant sea. They seemed to be following him from a distance. They're like ghosts that won't go away. Those people from the Wang family are definitely plotting something, said Jianghu. Bad idea? Xia Ping raised his eyebrows. They just wanted to borrow someone else's knife to kill him, that's all. They had been following him all this time and sending information to the 1,000 Demon Mountain. This Wang clan really had a good idea. However, he didn't expose the intentions of this group of people. Instead, he wanted to use this group of people. He said indifferently, "Forget it, let them follow us. I reckon that they are also going to the Myriad Treasures Island." Jianghu nodded. She knew that even if she protested, the Wang family wouldn't care. After all, they could always use the excuse that they were just passing by. After all, everyone was heading to the Myriad Treasures Island, so it was normal for them to take the same route. In a flash, 2 or 3 days had passed. The ship had sailed for who knew how many kilometers, constantly going deeper and deeper into the endless sea. Finally, they arrived at a mysterious sea area. This sea area was covered with dark clouds, and it was surrounded by black fog. The sky was filled with thunder and lightning, and the storm was rampaging. It was as if the ruler of the sea was roaring, shaking the earth. We're almost there. Jianghu immediately knew that the Myriad Treasures Island was in the deepest part of the sea area. As long as they passed through this dangerous sea area, they would be able to reach that mysterious island. It seems that many people want to go to the Myriad Treasures Island. Xiaoping squinted his eyes. There were also many ships gathered on this sea area. There were hundreds of them. Some were humans, some were monsters, and some were fishmen. All of them were emitting an endless murderous aura. They were all riding ships wanting to pass through this sea area. The news about the Myriad Treasures Island has been completely leaked out. I reckon that many people want to go there to explore and seize the treasures. Jianghu's face was solemn. Even if they passed through this dangerous sea area and reached the Myriad Treasures Island, they would still have to face many strong warriors. At that time there might be a fierce battle. Don't worry, the more the better. Xiaoping clenched his fists. This time he had come here to set up a trap. In order to kill the demonic beast kings, it didn't matter even if he couldn't obtain the treasures. As long as he could completely bury the demonic beast kings on the Myriad Treasures Island, his plan would be a success. Rumble, the ship sailed forward without hesitation. An energy barrier appeared on the surface of its body, enveloping the surroundings. It looked as if it was surrounded by eggshells. The storm above the sea, as well as the fish demons in the depths of the sea, slammed into the energy barrier, but none of them were able to break through it. Bang bang bang. Bang. Just as they entered this dangerous sea area, the ship in front of them suddenly trembled. It was as if the entire ship was about to topple over, or even completely fall apart. What's going on? Jianghu was startled. Her beautiful eyes widened as she stared ahead. Xiaoping also narrowed his eyes. He felt an unprecedented threat. All the cells in his body tensed up as he focused all his attention. He saw a strange black fish with a body over 100 meters long, covered in steel-like scales. It leaped out from the depths of the sea and slammed into the ship, exploding with a tremendous force of hundreds of millions of tons. Immediately, the ship was smashed into pieces and fell apart. Awe! The people on the ship also fell into the sea, but they soon let out miserable screams. Because when they fell into the sea, many piranhas swiftly swam over. They had ferocious teeth like sawteeth, and their bodies were the size of adults. What was even more terrifying was that there were tens of thousands of them. They were like an army biting at the people who fell into the water. In an instant, more than half of the people who fell into the water were dead or injured. The entire sea area was dyed red, filled with blood. Damn strange fish, die for me. A grandmaster roared angrily and punched out. Hundreds of millions of tons of seawater exploded, and fist energy shot out in all directions. In an instant, hundreds of strange fish were smashed into pieces, displaying the might of a grandmaster. He walked on the water like a god of war. Roar! But before he could completely display his might, the strange black fish leaped out again. Like a tiger pouncing on a sheep, it opened its ferocious mouth and swallowed the grandmaster whole with a bang. Chapter 795. However, this was only the beginning. Apart from the strange black fish, a strange blue fish also flew out from the deep sea. Its body was covered in dense blue lightning. Like a lightning snake, it bombarded several ships. Bang! Bang! These blue thunderbolts, which were as thick as buckets, instantly shattered the ships, piercing through them. The hulls of the ships were torn apart and exploded on the spot. The humans on the ships immediately screamed. This was because the power of these lightning bolts was not only targeted at the ships, but also indirectly attacked the human warriors. The violent energy wreaked havoc. One by one, the humans were electrocuted into charcoal. They could not even withstand a single blow. There was also a strange fish that was hundreds of meters long. Its entire body was silver and there were almost no impurities. It looked exceptionally beautiful, like a silver fish under the moonlight. It was incomparably sacred. However, its body emitted an extremely terrifying cold air. It swam over quickly and the surface of the sea was frozen. The people present felt as if they had entered the North Pole. One ship after another could not withstand it. They were immediately surrounded by the white cold air. In a few breaths they were actually frozen into huge ice sculptures, turning into glaciers. The humans on the ships were all frozen to death. Even the Grandmasters could not withstand it. However, the most terrifying one was an octopus with many tentacles. It was completely black and had thousands of tentacles, each of which was 2 to 3 kilometers long. It appeared from the depths of the sea. Its terrifying tentacles stretched out from the bottom of the sea at an incredible speed. They were like spears instantly piercing through a ship from the bottom. Sometimes one of its tentacles would casually slap down like a whip, ruthlessly smashing a ship into two. With a crackling sound, the entire ship would completely collapse. The deep-sea monsters appeared one after another. The people who came to this sea area were scared out of their wits. It was as if they had barged into a monster's lair. They were not here to search for treasures but to seek death. This is not good. This sea area is too dangerous. Hurry up and escape. Escape my ass. There are monsters behind us too. Damn it. There are wolves in front and tigers behind. What should we do now? Charge over immediately. Staying here will only lead to death. One by one the humans shouted loudly. They immediately controlled their ships, almost running the engines to the limit, trying to rush out of the encirclement of this group of monsters. However, there were simply too many of these deep-sea monsters. One ship after another was smashed to smithereens. Many people fell into the sea and were devoured by the strange fish. The 3 battleships of the Wang family were not spared either. 2 of the battleships were immediately targeted by a monster. The huge body of the monster rushed over, and with a bang the 2 battleships were smashed into pieces. No. Save me. Save me. I don't want to die. I don't want to die here. I've done meritorious deeds for the Wang clan, I've bled for the Wang clan, I've worked hard and contributed greatly. Grandmaster, please save me. One by one, the disciples of the Wang clan let out miserable screams. As the battleship collapsed, they too fell into the sea, surrounded by strange fish. However, Wang Tong and the others didn't pay any attention to them. They didn't even look at them. They couldn't even protect themselves now, so how could they have extra strength to save others? The disciples of the Wang clan who fell into the sea all let out miserable screams. They were bitten to pieces by the strange fish. Their blood stained the sea, and the air was filled with the smell of blood. However, the main battleship that Wang Tong and the others were on was the highest grade ship. An energy shield surged out of its body, enough to withstand the attack of thousands of missiles. Even if it was hit by the deep-sea monsters, it wouldn't be destroyed in a short time. They took advantage of this time to quickly escape from the encirclement of the deep-sea monsters. They rushed forward at full speed like lightning. Their speed was unimaginable. Ah, we escaped. We finally escaped. That's great. We're really lucky. Wait, where did Xiaoping go? Did he die in the hands of those deep-sea monsters? It's good that he's dead. It saves us the trouble of doing it ourselves. No, he's not dead yet. That kid's ship is also very fast. It seems like he's about to break out of the encirclement. On the Wang clan's battleship, many disciples of the Wang clan, including Wang Rulong and Wang Tong, saw the ship that Xiaoping was on. It was rapidly sailing on the sea. That ship was like a race car. It kept drifting on the sea, navigating at all kinds of unimaginable angles, dodging the attacks of the countless deep-sea monsters. Often, when a strange fish attacked, the ship seemed to have already predicted it and dodged in advance. Wasn't scathed. It seemed like it wouldn't be long before the ship broke out of the encirclement of the deep-sea monsters. Such a scene left them dumbfounded. Damn it. How can this kid be so lucky? He can just casually control the ship and dodge the attacks of the deep-sea monsters? It's so unfair. Some disciples of the Wang clan were so jealous that their intestines turned green. In order to escape, they paid a terrible price. 2 battleships of the Wang clan's elites were buried in the sea. But this kid seemed to be able to escape unscathed. However, they didn't know how powerful Xiaoping's mind power was. He could cover an area with a radius of 20 kilometers and could even reach the thoroughly meticulous level. Therefore, Xiaoping had mastered the ability to predict in advance. Within a range of 20 kilometers, even if the deep-sea monsters attacked from any angle, he would be able to see them clearly. Therefore, he gave the order to control the ship. It was as if he was dancing a beautiful waltz on the sea, easily dodging the attacks of the deep-sea monsters. He still wants to escape from the encirclement? Dream on. Uncle, fire the cannons immediately and blast that bastard to death. Let's bury him here. Wang Rulong sneered, his eyes revealing a hint of ruthlessness. Wang Tong's eyes also revealed a hint of coldness. He nodded and immediately gave the order. Boom. Immediately, the main cannon of the battleship slowly extended out. Energy was highly condensed and an energy cannon was fired. In an instant, it blasted toward the ship that Xia Ping was on. Damn it. Xia Ping, who was originally controlling the ship and dodging, felt his hair stand on end. All the cells in his body felt an intense sense of danger. Under the perception of his mind power, he discovered that the battleship that Wang Rulong was on was actually firing at his ship. With the defenses of the ship, it was impossible for it to withstand such an attack. If they continued to stay here, it would be a dead end for them. Run. Xia Ping made a prompt decision. He immediately abandoned the ship and pulled Jiang Yaru with him. In the blink of an eye, he and Jiang Yaru hid inside a spatial ring. Bang. Chapter 796. Meanwhile, inside the spatial ring. What's going on? Jiang Yaru was feeling a bit dizzy. Everything had happened so fast that she couldn't even react. She didn't even know what had happened. Just now, the Wang family's warship fired at our ship, trying to kill us. Xia Ping's eyes flashed with a cold light. His tone was incomparably calm, but it contained a monstrous killing intent. The Wang family was simply courting death. They really didn't remember the pain after being beaten. Before, he didn't have any interest in finding trouble with the Wang family, but these bastards actually dared to hit him while he was down, and even brazenly tried to kill him. Even Buddha would have a belly full of anger when faced with this kind of thing. What? Jiang Yaru was shocked. The Wang family's warship actually fired at us? Have they gone mad? She couldn't imagine the Wang family's madness to this degree. At a time like this, they even wanted to kill them. This was already an irreconcilable grudge. But if they fired their cannons, how did we escape? What kind of place is this? Jiang Yaru finally came to his senses. He discovered that his surroundings had changed completely. This didn't seem to be the endless sea anymore. Everywhere was a vast expanse of white space. It seemed to be a unique space, and there were many treasures placed around it. There was even a spaceship parked nearby. No matter how she looked at it, this place was very strange. Xia Ping briefly explained this place. This was the space of an artifact he had on him. A spatial artifact. I didn't expect you to have such a top-notch treasure. I once heard from my master that spatial artifacts are only owned by the top kings. They're rare and priceless. Jiang Yaru was dumbfounded. Just where did you get a spatial artifact from? Can this space even hold people? Isn't it said that spatial artifacts can only hold inanimate objects, not living ones? She looked at Xia Ping in shock. That's a secret. As for where I got it, you don't need to know. Xia Ping said indifferently. Right now, the most important thing is to leave this sea and go to Myriad Treasures Island. Hearing that Xia Ping didn't want to explain in detail, she didn't ask any more. Nodding, she said, Indeed. Do you have any good ideas? I happen to have a water-repellent pearl with me. I can walk freely in the sea and even turn invisible. Xia Ping took out a pearl. With this treasure, we should be able to easily leave this sea region. Jiang Yaru was speechless. For the average person, obtaining a single prized artifact was already a stroke of luck. However, this fellow had an endless number of prized artifacts on him. It was so many that it would cause others to feel envious. If the King Realm knew about this, he would probably want to rob this guy like crazy. After another day, Xia Ping controlled the invisible pearl and moved quickly through the sea region. Relying on the invisibility pearl's ability to conceal their presence, as well as their ability to avoid water, he and Jiang Yaru easily avoided the attacks of the many deep-sea monsters and escaped with ease. Those deep-sea monsters seemed to be unable to discover their whereabouts and turned a blind eye to them. However, some of the people who went to Myriad Treasures Island were not so lucky. They were besieged by monsters and the whole ship was shaken to pieces. There were countless casualties. Not to be outdone, the evolved masters also attacked, fighting to the death with these strange fishes. Displaying their tyrannical martial strength, they killed the strange fishes one by one. Even their internal organs were destroyed. Countless corpses appeared on the surface of the sea, and blood covered a large area. The situation was extremely tragic. However, even so, there were still some well-prepared ships that were extremely fast. They quickly escaped from the siege of the deep-sea monsters and arrived at a relatively calm sea region. We're here. Xia Ping discovered that when they approached the Myriad Treasures Island, those deep-sea monsters seemed to be afraid of the mysterious power of the island. They were unwilling to approach and quickly avoided it. That's the Myriad Treasures Island? Jiang Yaru also looked over and saw a huge island in the distance. It was surrounded by a green light, making it impossible to see the real situation on the island. However, the only thing they knew was that the island was extremely large. With a single glance, they couldn't see the end of it. Ah, we're here. We finally arrived at the Myriad Treasures Island. Is this the mysterious island with countless spirit herbs? We paid such a heavy price and sacrificed so many people to reach here. I hope the inside won't disappoint us. Go in immediately. All the treasures inside are mine. One by one they shouted excitedly. The appearance of the Myriad Treasures Island made them forget the fear of death. All they had was the desire to enter the island. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Seeing the appearance of the island, one ship after another crazily sailed towards it. It was like 100 birds paying homage to the phoenix. They all wanted to enter the mysterious island. It was as if they were afraid that if they were a step too late, all the treasures inside would be snatched away by others. Let's go. Xia Ping and Jianghu didn't hesitate and immediately entered from a certain part of the island. They avoided the crowd and walked towards a remote place. As soon as they entered, their entire bodies were submerged in the green light. They could immediately see the situation of the entire island clearly. Huge. Too huge. Xia Ping could feel that the plants on the island were extraordinarily huge. Every tree was at least 200 to 300 meters tall. Giant trees that were several thousand meters tall could be seen everywhere. Even the grass on the island was 2 to 3 meters tall, and they could directly submerge a person. There were apples, pears, durians, pomegranates and other fruits growing here. They were all more than 1.5 meters in diameter, the size of a human. Hanging on the trees, it was an astonishing scene. When humans entered this place, it was as if they had entered a kingdom of giants. They were incomparably tiny. Furthermore, the spiritual energy of heaven and earth was incomparably dense. It was at least 10 times that of the outside world. It was as if a super spell formation had been set up on the island. It could continuously absorb the spiritual energy of heaven and earth from the outside world and gather it together, turning this place into a true paradise, a holy land for cultivation. What a dense spiritual energy. Jianghu took a deep breath. She could feel all the pores on her body opening up, constantly devouring the surrounding spiritual energy. She didn't even need to circulate her qigong. Large amounts of spiritual energy were madly rushing into her body. She could feel that her cultivation was growing at every moment. A stalk of spirit medicine. Soon, Xia Ping discovered a stalk of ginseng growing on the soil in the distance. It was as tall as half a person. Its entire body was snow white, and it was emitting waves of spiritual energy. It seemed to be brimming with medicinal energy. It was at least several hundred years old. His heart thumped, and he immediately wanted to pluck the ginseng. Human scram. The spirit medicine is mine. If you dare to steal it, then die. Chapter 797. A cold light flashed in Xia Ping's eyes. This Murloc guru was extremely overbearing. His first move was a fatal killing move. He wanted to kill him mercilessly. Although the human clan and the Murlocs were incompatible and often fought on the boundless sea, it was rare for them to kill each other without saying anything. Xia Ping made his move in an instant. He slapped the Murloc guru and ran the power of his gang chi. Dong. The Murloc guru's fist hit the palm. The two tyrannical forces collided. There was a loud sound in the air, and the air seemed to condense into a substance. The surrounding trees were shaken down by the aftermath of such a strong chi, and the ground cracked. The scene was very shocking. What? The Murloc guru was very shocked. Under the blow just now, he was actually at a disadvantage. He took more than a dozen steps back. The web between his thumb and index finger was numb, and his chi and blood were rolling. Obviously, he was at the 4th level of the Supreme Power realm, and his strength was far beyond that of ordinary human beings. However, in a competition of pure strength, he actually lost. This was simply incredible. Human, who the hell are you? The Murloc guru stared at Xia Ping. He instinctively felt that this human was not easy to deal with. Originally, he thought that he could kill this human as soon as he made a move and get the spiritual medicine without any effort. He didn't expect that he would meet a tough opponent as soon as he made a move. The person who will kill you. Xia Ping was too lazy to talk nonsense with this Murloc guru. Since the Murloc guru wanted to kill him, he didn't have time to chat with it. Anyone who dared to attack him was an enemy and must die. Flaming Divine Needle. With a whoosh, he grabbed the void and his gang chi vibrated. The flaming gang chi in his body instantly condensed into a divine needle and attacked the Murloc guru. Oh no! The Murloc guru's face changed dramatically. He could feel the terrible power of this flaming divine needle. It was extremely fast and silent. It tore through the air and came in front of him in the blink of an eye. He ran the gang qi in his body trying to resist. However, this divine needle specialized in breaking the internal gang qi. Ordinary defensive qigong could not resist it at all. Dong. In an instant, the flaming divine needle sank into his body. Stop. Stop immediately. What are you trying to do? Kill my Jingyang's subordinates. Do you have a death wish? Suddenly, a deafening shout echoed out from the distance. A killer whale monster leapt over from the distance. Its body was enormous, reaching 7 or 8 meters in height. It was unarmed, but it exuded a terrifying pressure. Such a body was like a small mountain, and it was suffocating. It had the strength of the supreme power 5th level. Behind this orca demon were 7 or 8 subordinates. All of them were experts at the 3rd heaven of the Grandmaster realm. They seemed to be from the orca demon clan, and all of them were led by Jingyang. Killer whale demon race. Jiang Yaru's pupils shrank. She could feel the strength of this group of killer whale demons. After staying in the Endless Sea for such a long time, she knew that there were many powerful races in the Endless Sea. Among them was the killer whale demon race. They possessed boundless strength and peerless defensive power. They could be called the overlords of the sea. They had always acted in a tyrannical manner and didn't place anyone in their eyes. Once there was an enemy they didn't like, they would immediately crush them and turn them into powder. Moreover, they liked to move in groups. If anyone encountered the killer whale demon race in the Endless Sea, they would be terrified as if doomsday had arrived. Stop. Hearing this, Xiaoping sneered. This Grandmaster Fishman wanted to kill him, yet he still wanted him to stop? Who did he think he was? He didn't want to talk nonsense with the killer whale demon race. With a thought, the divine flame needle immediately swelled up. The power of the flame burned crazily, and in an instant, it exploded inside the Grandmaster Fishman's body. Ah! The Grandmaster Fishman let out a mournful scream. His whole body exploded into pieces, turning into a pile of meat paste. The ground was dyed red. Bastard! Jingyang was furious. He didn't expect that this damned human wouldn't give him face. Even though he had brought his subordinates here, he still dared to kill his people. The subordinates around him were also furious. This lowly human dared to kill their killer whale demon race. They couldn't accept this at all. The anger in their hearts erupted like a volcano. At this moment, they had already formed an irreconcilable enmity with Xiaoping. Jingyang shouted angrily, "Human, you dare to kill my subordinates? You will pay with your life." King-grade martial skill, Fishman 9 strikes. In an instant, his whole body seemed to have turned into a swimming fish, using the air of heaven and earth as a stream of water. He swam in this space and attacked from an incredible angle. It seemed that at this moment the airflow of heaven and earth was under Jingyang's control. A huge whale appeared behind him and fiercely attacked Xiaoping. This attack not only contained the earth-shattering power of the killer whale demon race, but also the power of the airflow of heaven and earth. When the two superimposed, it was enough to destroy a small mountain. It could be said that Jingyang was several times stronger than a human grandmaster of the same level. Dark North Body Protection Art. Xiaoping took a step forward, his hands forming a circle, and operated the Dark North Body Protection Art. The airflow of heaven and earth shook, and the illusion of a Kunpeng appeared behind him. It opened its mouth and turned into a black hole. Dong. The terrifying force of this attack was instantly swallowed by the black hole, as if it had been swallowed by the Kunpeng. No matter how strong the force was, it turned into nothingness. A huge crater immediately appeared on the ground where his feet were standing. Cracks extended outwards one after another. Kacha sounds rang out as huge boulders in the distance were shattered into pieces. How is this possible? Jingyang's eyes widened. With this peerless attack, even a human grandmaster of the same level would be blown up by his punch and die without a whole corpse. However, facing a human junior in the second tier of the grandmaster realm, his attack was easily blocked. Such a ridiculous thing was simply unacceptable. What kind of protective qigong is this? The 7 or 8 subordinates around him were also shocked. No one knew better than them how terrifying their boss's strength was. One blow was enough to sink the land. This was the power of the Killer Whale clan, which was famous throughout the Endless Sea. It was estimated that only the heaven-devouring elephant clan of the Land Demon clan was qualified to compare with them. With one punch, a small human would be smashed into meat paste. However, such an invincible power was easily blocked by this human. They were also so shocked that their jaws almost fell off and they were dumbfounded. What protective qigong? Go ask the king of Hao. Xia Ping shouted and immediately used the peerless king-level martial skill, Epic of Heaven. Chapter 798. The first chapter of the Epic of Heaven, Angel's Hymn. In the blink of an eye, Xia Ping's psychic power rippled out, covering an area of 2 kilometers around him. In the blink of an eye, the killer whale demons were enveloped. Immediately, Jing Wuliang and the other demons' eyes went blank, and they fell into endless hallucinations. At that moment they seemed to hear angels singing. Their bodies felt warm as if they were enveloped by the light of heaven. All of their negative emotions disappeared. Instead, they were filled with positive emotions. Their hearts were filled with gratitude, happiness, and other emotions. They wanted nothing more than to ascend to heaven with the angels. Die. In the next second, Xia Ping took out the hell spear. At that moment, the entire world was enveloped by the aura of hell. An extremely evil aura spread out and enveloped the killer whale demons. This aura immediately caused them to suffer and fall into the Avici hell. Killing intent, greed, arrogance, anger, and other emotions were all drawn out. Such a scene seemed to drag them down from the beautiful heaven and into hell. On one side was heaven and on the other side was hell. The 2 types of extreme torture almost drove the killer whale demons crazy. Not good. Jing Wuliang was powerful, and his psychic power was also much stronger than ordinary people. He broke free from the illusion faster than ordinary people, and his hair stood on end. It was as if every cell in his body was trembling, as if he sensed great danger. He wanted to defend himself, but it was already too late. The Epic of Heaven had caused him to fall into a momentary trance. In a battle between grandmasters, this was a fatal flaw. This momentary trance was enough for his opponent to kill him dozens of times. Xia Ping stabbed out with his spear, leaving a dazzling trail in the air like a black chain of order. It exuded a terrifying and indestructible might. Dong. Jing Wuliang's body was easily pierced by the hell spear. Even his heart was destroyed on the spot. Tyrannical astral energy vibrated in his body, and he was instantly torn to pieces. Boss. The remaining subordinates all screamed, and their eyes widened in shock. They could only watch helplessly as Jing Wuliang died at the hands of this human. They were horrified. Bang bang bang. However, this was only the beginning. Xia Ping attacked again and again as fast as lightning. 5 or 6 illusory spears appeared in the air, and astral energy erupted like flood dragons. Ah! The remaining 7 or 8 killer whale monsters let out pitiful screams. That hell spear was invincible, nothing could stop it, not even astral chi. Their bodies were pierced on the spot, and their hearts exploded, following in the footsteps of their boss. With a loud bang, huge corpses fell to the ground one after another, raising a cloud of dust. Blood dripped onto the ground, and the air was filled with an unpleasant smell. Leviathan Unrighteous and the other demon-kin stared with wide eyes. Never in their wildest dreams could they have guessed that this was just an ordinary operation, and that killing humans was nothing more than a trivial matter. But now they had died tragically on the spot. They felt extremely sullen and unwilling. But no matter what, they had offended someone they shouldn't have, and as a result they died tragically on the spot. Not good. Jianghu's expression changed. There are quite a few fishmen experts in the surroundings. They seem to have sensed the commotion here and are rushing over. We can't stay here for long. She took out a palm-sized cube and tapped it lightly. Immediately, a virtual projection appeared. This projection was a map of the area within 100 kilometers of the island. Countless dots of light appeared on the map, all of which seemed to be moving at high speed. What is this? Xia Ping looked at the cube in amazement. Jianghu said proudly, "This is a scanner. It's a super civilization's technology that my master obtained from some ruins. Once it's activated, it can scan an area of 100 kilometers. It can even detect any enemies in the area as well as their movements and strength. Even kings can't escape its tracking. I begged my master for a long time to explore Myriad Treasures Island, and he only agreed to lend it to me not long ago." She pointed at the unique cube. She had obtained this treasure after she and Xia Ping had returned to the port. She had contacted her master, and her master had delivered this treasure to her. Her master had been worried that she might encounter some kind of unexpected danger, so he had given this treasure to her to increase her survivability. Amazing. Xia Ping's eyebrows rose. On Myriad Treasures Island, the area was distorted by a unique magnetic field. Ordinary exploration devices had long since been destroyed, and even communication devices couldn't be used. But this scanner could still be used, which was really amazing. The technology produced in those ruins was simply black technology, which surpassed the current technology by many years. He was a little tempted and wanted to go into those ruins to search for treasures. Can you lend it to me for a while? It doesn't need to be too long. 100 years is enough. Xia Ping blinked his eyes, looked at Jiang Yaru and stated his request. In your dreams. Jiang Yaru rolled her eyes at Xia Ping. You wanted to borrow it for 100 years? What was the difference between this and giving it to this bastard? This bastard was so thick-skinned that he was no different from those old scoundrels in society. Moreover, in order to obtain this secret treasure, she had paid a great price. If she casually lent it out, her master would probably want to strangle her. Okay, cut the crap. Jiang Yaru pointed at the light spots on the virtual screen and said, Do you see this? A lot of Fishman Grandmasters are coming this way. Among them, there are many experts in the 6th and 7th stage of the Supreme Power Realm, and there are many of them. If we are surrounded, I'm afraid we're dead. 2 fists are no match for 4 hands. Her expression was very serious. This time, there were too many experts who had come to Myriad Treasures Island. It was simply a death arena. If they were not careful, they would be killed immediately. Xia Ping also nodded. No matter how powerful he was, he couldn't deal with so many opponents. Of course, he could borrow the power of the moon god to completely kill these enemies. But in this way, he might alert the enemy and scare away those monster kings. Then the gains would not make up for the losses. It was better to avoid the sharp edge for now. Let's go. Xia Ping nodded, grabbed the ginseng on the ground and put it in his space ring. Then he and Jiang Yaru quickly fled. With the help of this scanner, they knew the nearby geographical environment and the enemies like the back of their hand. Therefore, the two of them easily got rid of the pursuit of countless enemies and quietly left this place. Chapter 799. In a certain cave on Myriad Treasures Island. At this moment, Xia Ping and Jiang Yaru had finally found a safe place to hide. They didn't need to worry about being chased by enemies. There are too many experts on this island. I need to increase my strength as quickly as possible. Xia Ping sat cross-legged on the ground, feeling a sense of urgency in his heart. He needed to increase his cultivation base as quickly as possible. Otherwise, he might run into great danger on this island. Thinking of this, Xia Ping immediately took out the ginseng and the demon cores he had obtained from Jing Wuliang and the others. Those killer whale demons were simply too poor. They didn't have any special treasures on them, only the demon cores they had condensed. Now that Xia Ping had obtained them, he could take them all away. At least he wouldn't return empty-handed. Refine. With a thought, Xia Ping immediately circulated the pure yang immortal incantation in his body. Boundless flames rose up, transforming into a giant sun furnace. The demon cores and the ginseng were instantly incinerated by the sun furnace. They were refined into extremely pure energy, and large amounts of impurities were expelled. Strands of golden aura floated out from the sun furnace. These were the demon cores and the essence of the ginseng. They contained abundant energy. Devour. Xia Ping circulated the energy in his body. His 108,000 pores all seemed to be breathing at the same time. The faint image of a Kunping appeared behind him, emitting a tyrannical aura. The Kunping lay in midair and breathed continuously. As it breathed, the abundant energy was devoured cleanly and integrated into every cell in its body. The entire cave was filled with turbulent winds and clouds, as if thunder and lightning were rumbling. All the air was sucked into the cave, forming a giant vortex. It was a shocking scene. No way. Even an evolved Jing master's cultivation would cause such a huge commotion? At this moment, Jiang Yaru was cultivating in another cave. She had obtained a large amount of spirit liquid from Xia Ping. On this trip to Myriad Treasures Island, she had encountered countless evolved Jing masters. This made her realize how weak she was and she wanted to break through as quickly as possible. So after obtaining the spirit liquid, she wanted to go into secluded cultivation and advance to a higher realm. But right now, she was completely dumbfounded by Xia Ping's cultivation state. He was just like a barbaric beast that was plundering everything. All the heaven and earth spirit chi in a radius of several miles was devoured clean by him. This won't do. If I continue to stay in this place, even my cultivation will be affected. I'd better go somewhere else to train in seclusion. Jiang Yaru made a prompt decision. This entire area had been completely affected by Xia Ping. If she continued to seclude herself, she would definitely fail her breakthrough. With a so sound, she left this place, heading towards another mountain range to cultivate in seclusion, avoiding the brunt of the attacks. Such pure energy. Xia Ping also did not know that his cultivation had caused such a shocking phenomenon. He was now shocked by the medicinal power. The elixirs that grew on this island had astonishing medicinal power. They seemed to be twice as strong as ordinary elixirs, and they were also extremely pure. In fact, the demonic cores of evolved ancestors also contained pure demonic qi. After being refined by the solar furnace, the impurities had already been completely eliminated, leaving behind only energy that was harmless to humans. Because of the refinement process, the majority of the energy in the demonic cores had been depleted. But even if there was only a small portion left, it still had an extremely shocking effect. He could sense that at this moment, a majestic energy was surging through his 108 meridians. They were like numerous flood dragons, crazily swimming around his meridians. Finally, this energy flowed into his Dantian's qi si. After being converted, the astral qi in his body rapidly increased. After an unknown period of time, Xia Ping could sense that the astral qi in his body had been raised to the limit. In fact, even his Dantian's qi si was almost unable to contain it. Bang bang bang. One by one, his acupoints were broken through as though numerous great doors of energy had been opened, causing the explosively increased astral qi in his body to flow into these acupoints. This astral qi also produced a strange phenomenon, as though numerous golden crows of hell were residing in the depths of his acupoints. At the same time, the golden crow of hell cells in his body were also awakening, crazily melting, strengthening every inch of his muscles, bones, meridians, and even every single cell. Even his blood seemed to have undergone a transformation, showing a pale golden state. Xia Ping had already begun to transform into an inhuman state. His body emitted a faint golden light, which was incomparably sacred. If anyone could see the situation of Xia Ping's cultivation at this time, they would immediately be surprised. His body was actually emitting bursts of light, like surging auspicious colors. Golden light radiated in all directions and purple qi rose. The scene was astonishing. The ground seemed to be covered in high temperature. Flames burned and impressively turned into magma. Heat waves rolled and the surrounding temperature rose by hundreds of degrees. Breakthrough. Xia Ping felt that at this moment, his breakthrough was simply a matter of course. He had come to the endless sea and experienced many battles. He had fought with many murloc and pirate grandmasters. He had fought life and death battles, honing his martial arts cultivation. He had taken the qi-mending pill and perfected his martial arts foundation. His body had almost reached a perfect state. Now, with the help of the majestic energy of the elixir, he had broken through in one fell swoop. This was simply a matter of nature. There was no disturbance at all. Boom, when the last acupoint was broken through, Xia Ping felt his body shake. The golden drums rang together, and the sound of tigers and leopards thundered. His strength seemed to be much stronger than before, and his gang qi seemed to be increasing crazily. The sea of qi in his dantian seemed to have turned into magma, constantly rolling like a volcanic crater, constantly erupting, hot air containing explosive energy. The third heaven of supreme power realm. Xia Ping immediately knew that he had broken through 12 acupoints again and reached the third heaven of supreme power realm. This was simply the peak of the primary supreme power realm. My strength has become stronger. He clenched his fists and his muscles swelled, containing a strong gang qi. When he punched out, there seemed to be the cry of the golden crow of hell. The air exploded and it was extremely fierce. The stone wall in the distance was instantly smashed by the fist force. It was as fragile as tofu, and it went hundreds of meters deep into the rock wall. It was just a gentle punch, but it almost completely penetrated the hill. The golden crow of hell bloodline has become more powerful. Xia Ping was very excited. It could be said that this time, when he was promoted to the third heaven of supreme power realm, the enhancement of his strength, spiritual force, and gang qi were secondary. The most important thing was that he had awakened 40 to 50 golden crow of hell cells in his body. This greatly increased the power of his body, causing his bloodline to evolve further. Now Xia Ping had transformed into an inhuman state, and his strength was enough to rival the heaven-swallowing elephant. The bodies of the killer whale demons, which were born with divine power, had also been greatly strengthened. Chapter 800. One day later. Xia Ping had completely consolidated and familiarized himself with the power of the third heaven of supreme power realm. He believed that after a period of time he would be able to perfectly control the skyrocketing power and use it freely. At this time Jianghu also came out of seclusion. At this moment she had also advanced to the 6th layer of the martial master realm, and her strength had greatly increased. When she saw Xia Ping, her face was gloomy. "You freak, you broke through again?" Jianghu was extremely depressed. She had heard that the higher one cultivated, the harder it was to break through. Some evolved Jing masters were stuck at the first layer of the evolved Jing realm, unable to break through for 10 years. However, this guy broke through so easily and reached the third heaven of Supreme Power realm in such a short time. If this kind of breakthrough was spread out, many Supreme Power masters would be scared to death. "It's alright. It's a routine operation. When the conditions are right, success will follow naturally," Xia Ping said modestly. Keep bragging, keep bragging." Jianghu couldn't help but feel disdain for this braggart. If this was just a normal move, then what would happen with a godly move? Could it be that he would reach the heavens in a single step and become a king? She felt that she couldn't continue to talk about these things with Xia Ping. Otherwise, she would definitely be stimulated to the point of having a heart attack. "Right, what do we do next?" Jianghu changed the topic. Xia Ping said, "What else can we do? Of course we're going to find the geocentric Lingji." He really wanted to get his hands on this spiritual herb. He instinctively felt that it would be of great benefit to him. "But we don't know where the geocentric Lingji is?" Jianghu was in a difficult position. This Myriad Treasures Island was extremely large. Wanting to find the geocentric Ganoderma in such a large area was an incomparably difficult matter. "I'm fine." Xia Ping waved his hand. "Just go to a crowded place. Take your time." "You're right." Jianghu nodded. There were a lot of spirit herbs on this island. If they were extremely precious, it would definitely cause countless people to fight over them. Going to a place with a lot of people would guarantee that there wouldn't be any mistakes. Even if he couldn't find the geocentric Ganoderma, he could still find other precious elixirs. "Let's go," Xia Ping said. After he finished speaking, he and Jianghu left the cave and headed outside. However, not long after they left the cave, a group of people walked towards them. "What's going on? Why aren't you dead?" All of a sudden, a voice rang out, filled with shock. It was as if the speaker couldn't believe that Xia Ping and Jianghu were still alive. Xia Ping immediately saw a group of people walking towards him. It was the disciples of the Wang clan led by Wang Tong, Wang Rulong, and the others. They formed a group and walked towards him majestically. The one who spoke was Wang Rulong. "Enemies are bound to meet on a narrow road. It's really a narrow road for enemies." At this moment, Xia Ping's eyes were filled with killing intent. It was this group of people who had thrown stones at him when he was down in the sea. They had even fired a cannon at him, wanting to kill him. The entire ship had been destroyed. If it weren't for the fact that he had a trump card, he would have long since died under his opponent's vicious methods. It was one thing for him to not feel the slightest bit of remorse, but to think that he was still alive. His tone was filled with contempt and coldness. Hearing those words, even a clay figurine would be enraged. "So it's Mr. Xia. How have you been? I didn't expect to meet you here. What a coincidence." Wang Tong said with a smile on his face as if nothing had happened. "Don't be a hypocrite here. You guys wanted to kill me before, shooting down my ship and plotting to kill me. I'll settle this debt with you." Xia Ping's eyes were filled with coldness. Wang Tong waved his hand. "Mr. Xia, I think you've misunderstood something. Actually, that cannon was just an accident. We wanted to kill those deep-sea monsters, but we didn't expect to hit Mr. Xia's ship. That was a huge mistake. We didn't mean any harm." He indicated that the previous cannon was an accident and that it wasn't aimed at Xia Ping. In such a chaotic situation, it was normal for a few cannons to accidentally hit other ships. It was just a huge accident and not intentional. "Shoo." As soon as he finished speaking, Xia Ping made his move. He slapped his palm, causing his earth energy to vibrate. More than 10 flaming needles were condensed and shot towards the disciples of the Wang clan. "What?" Suddenly Wang Tong was shocked. He instinctively felt the horror of these flaming needles. If his body was hit, he would definitely die. This was a fatal move. He made his move in an instant and punched out like a tiger. He ran his earth energy and the sky was densely covered with strong earth energy, forming a solid barrier. This blow showed the power of the Supreme Power Realm's 6th realm. Bang! Immediately there was an explosion in the air. More than a dozen flaming needles were shot down and exploded. The primordial chi exploded, causing amazing cracks to appear on the ground like a spider web. "Boy, what on earth do you want to do?" Wang Tong's face was extremely gloomy like ink. If he hadn't made a move in time, these needles would have fallen on the disciples of the Wang clan and killed many of them. "Sorry, my hand slipped just now. It was just an accident. I believe you won't mind." Xia Ping looked at the group of disciples of the Wang clan indifferently. His hand slipped. Many disciples of the Wang clan were shocked and angry. How could it be possible that his hand slipped? It was obvious that he was targeting them. Moreover, when he made his move, he wanted to kill them. How could he say that it was just a slip of his hand? Did he really think that they were idiots? Xia Ping. Wang Tong said coldly, "Don't think that we are idiots. You are clearly targeting us deliberately. You want to attack the people of the Wang clan. This is not a small matter. I think you better understand the consequences of offending the Wang clan." His tone was stern. Consequences? You intended to kill the core members of the giant company. Have you thought about the consequences? Xia Ping looked at the disciples of the Wang clan indifferently. His body was full of killing intent. The pupils of Wang Tong and the others shrank. The reason why they dared to make a move before was that they thought that Xia Ping would definitely die in this dangerous sea area. In this way, even the giant company wouldn't be able to find out the cause of Xia Ping's death. Naturally, the Wang clan would be fine. However, Xia Ping didn't die. Things were getting serious. Uncle. Wang Rulong stood out and coldly laughed. Things have already reached this point. Why are you still talking nonsense? Can't you see that he is planning to fight our Wang clan to the death? Since this brat wants to die, we will grant him his wish. Also, this place is in the wilderness. If he dies here, who would know? Although he didn't die in the sea earlier, if he dies here, the result will be the same. There's no need for us to be polite with this brat. Chapter 801. Hearing this, many disciples of the Wang family were tempted. Since both sides were going to fight to the death, they might as well kill this guy here and put an end to all troubles. If they let this guy escape, it would be difficult for them to get along well in the future. It was better to eliminate him immediately. You want to kill me? Are you qualified? Xia Ping looked at Wang Rulong and the others indifferently and squinted. Uncle, what are you waiting for? Since this guy wants to die, let's fulfill his wish. Wang Rulong fanned the flames from the side. He hated this guy who had humiliated him to the core. Young man, there is a way to heaven, but you don't want to take it. Don't blame me if you die, Wang Tong said faintly with a compassionate look. Boom. As soon as he finished speaking, Wang Tong instantly attacked, showing the powerful cultivation of the Supreme Power Realm's 6th realm. His gang chi vibrated, and the air behind him twisted, as if it had formed a powerful dragon. He cultivated the Wang family's peerless king-level qigong, the Azure Dragon skill. Once he cultivated it to a high level, his body would have the power of the Azure Dragon. His every move would be natural, like a dragon in the world, invincible. He punched out, and the gang chi condensed as if a dragon had appeared in the void. It was incomparably powerful, containing the power to destroy everything, and the whole earth was shaking. Good timing. Xia Ping was not moved. He operated the pure yang immortal skill and punched out in the void. The palm print was condensed into a substance. The awakened golden crow cells in his body were all singing, as if hundreds of birds were singing at the same time. A peerless ferocious god had awakened in the depths of hell, and its aura alone was enough to suppress countless evil spirits. The palm print was pale gold as if it had the power of hell. This was the power of the golden crow of hell, which had the power to destroy all evil. Nothing could resist it. It could be said that this palm was many times more powerful than before. Boom. The fist print and the palm print collided. The dragon and the golden crow of hell were fighting, as if two peerless fierce beasts were fighting each other in the void. Their chi entangled with each other, forming an amazing storm. What? Wang Tong was startled. The moment his fist came into contact with Xia Ping's palm print, he felt an inexhaustible force transmitted to him. His entire arm was shaken to the point of numbness. His sleeves were shattered into pieces and turned into ashes. He felt that his hand was numb, and the amazing force passed to his internal organs. His chi and blood were rolling, and he could not help but spit out the blood in the depths of his body. How is it possible? Wang Tong immediately used the Azure Dragon skill and ran the qigong in his body, and his qigong and his qigong. Just like that, his entire body moved 100 meters horizontally before finally stopping. Third heaven of Supreme Master? When did you reach the third heaven of Supreme Master? Wang Tong was instantly shocked. He could sense that Xia Ping's cultivation had improved by leaps and bounds compared to before. It was simply incomparable to before. But what shocked him even more was that he was only at the third heaven of Supreme Power Realm, but his strength had surpassed that of an expert at the 6th heaven of Supreme Power Realm. How terrifying was this? If he were to advance to the 6th level of supreme power, wouldn't he be able to easily kill him with one punch? No way he broke through again so soon? Many disciples of the Wang family, including Wang Rulong, were so jealous that their intestines turned green. They knew that this guy had just been promoted to the 2nd sky of Supreme Power Realm not long ago, but now he had broken through to the 3rd sky of Supreme Power Realm. This kind of breakthrough speed was simply frightening. Although they already knew that the champion of the genius battle was an unparalleled monster and was hated by countless monster kings, it was only at this moment that they truly understood what it meant to be a monster that stood at the pinnacle of all geniuses. No wonder so many demon kings listed this brat as a must-kill target. Even the giant company wanted to protect him. If the Wang clan had a descendant with such talent, they would most probably do the same. A trace of fear appeared in their hearts. If they allowed this monstrous genius to leave today with his speed of improvement, it wouldn't be long before he became a king tier. The thought of becoming enemies with such a monstrous king made them feel as if a calamity was about to befall their Wang family. Among these people, no one knew better than Wang Tong how terrifying a peerless monster was. The gap between them was not as simple as 1 and 10, it was the difference between 0 and 10. No matter how many mortals were added together, they could not be compared to a monster. It's none of your business. A dead man doesn't need to know so much. There was a trace of coldness in Xiaoping's eyes. He turned into a big bird and rushed over, wanting to kill Wang Tong completely. Although he was only at the 3rd sky of Supreme Power Realm, his cultivation of Gangqi was extremely profound. The amount of Gangqi alone was no less than that of any martial artist at the 6th sky of Supreme Power Realm. Coupled with the addition of his pure yang immortal art and the power of the infernal Golden Crow's cell bloodline, he could even match a martial artist at the 6th sky of Supreme Power Realm. Ridiculous, a junior at the 3rd sky of Supreme Power Realm dares to be so arrogant. Today I'd like to see who will die. Wang Tong immediately became furious, and the Gangqi of the 6th sky of Supreme Power Realm broke out. With a clang he actually took out a soft sword from his waist. It was extremely sharp and could cut iron like mud. In the air, it emitted a frightening silver cold light. Everyone present suddenly felt as if their necks were being cut by a sword. The sword chi was everywhere. It seemed that as long as Wang Tong's mind moved, they would lose their lives and die without a complete corpse. King-level swordsmanship, phantom swordsmanship, the first move, moving moon and stars. As the sword chopped down, it seemed that the stars were moving. The sky was full of specks of starlight, and each speck of starlight seemed to be a sword chi. They overlapped, making it impossible for people to tell which was real and which was fake. If the enemy blocked the wrong sword chi, he would be hit by the real sword chi, which would pierce through his body and rob him of his vitality. This was an extremely terrifying sword. It seemed that the starlight was shining and exceptionally beautiful, but there was a hidden murderous intent. Even such an exquisite swordsmanship, coupled with the Qigong power of the Azure Dragon skill, the power of the two was not as simple as 1 plus 1. It was simply a geometric increase. Arrogant? Who do you think is the real arrogant one now? Xiaoping did not dodge. He immediately took out the precious weapon, the Spear of Hell. Suddenly, with his body as the center, a terrifying aura immediately broke out. Powerful Gangqi gushed out of the Spear of Hell, as if the whole world was dyed black. Ghosts wailed and wolves howled. The aura of hell spread from the void and surrounded a radius of several miles. Vaguely, the surrounding martial artists seemed to have hallucinations, as if there were hell messengers hooking their souls and trying to pull them into hell. Dong. Under such a tyrannical and unparalleled power, no matter what kind of illusion or sword technique it was shattered and completely destroyed. Chapter 802. Impossible. Wang Tong let out a shriek. He was horrified. Facing such a tyrannical spear art, he felt as weak as a baby. That phantom sword art was just as laughable as a three-legged cat's skill. In the face of such an absolutely tyrannical and destructive power, all tricks and conspiracies were useless. This was an upright attack, the way of the king. Illusion? Dodge? Technique? None of these things were necessary. In front of the hell spear and the golden crow of hell, these things were illusory. With one strike they would all be turned into powder. Dong. In just an instant, the powerful force exploded in Wang Tong's body. The spear pierced through Wang Tong's right arm, causing blood to splatter everywhere. Ah! Wang Tong couldn't help but let out a miserable scream. Intense pain spread throughout his body. It was as if every nerve in his body was trembling. Tiny beads of sweat appeared on his forehead, and his entire body was twitching incessantly as if he was being bitten by countless ants. He had never suffered such pain before. Even the Hell Spear was releasing black astral energy into his meridians, destroying them crazily. No matter how he operated his Qigong, he couldn't expel the astral energy from his body. This also caused him to lose more than half of his astral energy. It's over. Elder Wang is in trouble. How could this be? Elder Wang is an expert in the 6th stage of the Supreme Master Realm. How could he lose? There's no other way. That kid's spear is a cosmic weapon. It's indestructible and can greatly increase his opponent's strength. No matter how powerful Elder Wang is, how could he be a match for a cosmic weapon? Shameless. You only know how to rely on the advantage of a cosmic weapon. If you have the guts, fight him with your bare hands. One by one, the disciples of the Wang family cursed. If even Wang Tong was defeated by this kid, then who else could subdue him? Go to hell. Xia Ping's eyes flashed with a cold light. He immediately wanted to inject astral energy into the Hell Spear and let the power of the cosmic weapon explode. He wanted to pierce through Wang Tong's body and blast him into pieces. But at this moment, his hair stood on end. The golden crow of hell cells were strongly warning him that some kind of unknown danger was staring at him, and his life was in danger. His mental strength spread out and covered a radius of a few miles. He immediately sensed that Wang Rulai had taken out a silver gun at some point in time. It was a relic weapon, an energy gun. It was said that this weapon was extremely powerful. Once it had enough energy, its speed would be extremely fast. Once it locked onto an enemy, even a grandmaster could be killed easily. However, the value of this weapon was extremely high. It was priceless, and even if there was a market for it, it would be snatched away as soon as it appeared. It was a peerless treasure that couldn't be bought even with money. At this moment, Wang Rulong actually took out this weapon. His expression was ferocious, as if he had been planning this for a long time. The muzzle was aimed at Xia Ping. It seemed that as long as he pulled the trigger, he could kill Xia Ping with one shot and take revenge. Dodge. At this point, Xia Ping couldn't be bothered with killing Wang Tong. He immediately rotated his Qigong, causing a pair of wings to sprout from his back. Using the steps of the rock, he looked like a rock as he soared through the air. With lightning speed, he flashed and left the place in an instant. In a flash, with a bang, a condensed energy column shot over, cutting through the sky and tearing the air. Because it was so fast, there was even a trace of burnt smell. Boom. The energy column immediately shot into the air and hit the afterimage left by Xia Ping in the air. It passed through and finally smashed into a mountain in the distance. Immediately, the mountain was shot through on the spot by the energy column, and a shocking hole appeared in the middle. The stones were turned into powder, and the surrounding area was scorched black. It was extremely shocking. At this time, Xia Ping appeared in another place. His face was gloomy. If he hadn't dodged in time just now, he would have been turned into nothingness by this shot. Even Dark Northa's body protection skill would not be able to resist this amazing power. This energy gun had the power to shoot and kill a grandmaster at the peak, so it should not be underestimated. Humph, he's not dead. Wang Rulong was very unhappy. In order to kill Xia Ping, he had paid a huge price from his family and finally got the right to use this relic weapon. It was to be able to give Xia Ping a fatal blow at a critical moment and end his life. But he didn't expect that the kid was so cunning. He was obviously prepared for it, but the other side still easily dodged it, which made him feel very annoyed and angry. Wang Rulong, you want to die. Xia Ping felt a strong anger in his heart. Wang Rulong had provoked his bottom line again and again. Previously, this kid had ordered the cannons to attack his ship, trying to kill him while he was down. Now, he wanted to plot against him, secretly taking out the energy gun, and wanted to give him a fatal blow. After doing these things, even a clay figurine would have some anger. Humph, you're lucky to escape this time. Don't think that you can escape a second or a third time. Wang Rulong sneered and said, as long as you get hit once, you'll die. I'd like to see how long you can jump. He ordered the Wang family's disciples to immediately surround Xia Ping and obstruct him. He took advantage of this opportunity to sneak an attack. As long as he could get hit once, the kid would be dead. Even a deity would not be able to save this guy. No, you won't have a second chance. No one can save you today. Whoever dares to save you will die. Xia Ping's eyes shone with a frightening light. His killing intent was awe-inspiring. He had to kill Wang Rulong. Even if someone would stop him, he would completely destroy this Wang Rulong. Boom, in an instant, a pair of wings grew on his back and he turned into a rock. He flew through the air at an extremely fast speed and attacked Wang Rulong with shocking attack power. This speed was so fast that the naked eye could not see it. What? Wang Rulong was so scared that he peed his pants. He felt as if he was being stared at by an unparalleled ferocious beast, and all the cells in his body were trembling. At this moment he finally felt what his enemy felt when facing Xia Ping. Despair. It was as deep as the abyss. No matter how he struggled, he could not escape death. Stop! Wang Rulong is a member of the Wang family. Who dares to kill him? You must be dreaming. You want to kill Wang Rulong? Have you asked for my permission? Die immediately. You still want to behave atrociously in front of the Wang family's elders? You really don't know how to spell the word death. Seeing that Xia Ping wanted to kill Wang Rulong, the Wang family's elders all shouted. Their eyes were wide open and they all moved to block Xia Ping. Chapter 803. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. A group of elders of the Wang family attacked one after another. These elders were extremely powerful. They were at least at the 4th heaven of Supreme Power Realm, some were at the 5th heaven of Supreme Power Realm, and some were even comparable to Wang Tong at the 6th heaven of Supreme Power Realm. Xia Ping, you want to kill the disciples of the Wang family? You're dreaming. Now go to hell. An old man in a black robe shouted. He held a big saber in his hand and slashed down with great force. It contained extremely fierce saber chi which smashed everything. This was a unique skill of his Vajra saber technique. When he performed it, it was like a Vajra Arhat in the world. He slashed down with his saber and subdued demons. It had the power of an angry Arhat, as if it wanted to frighten all the demons in the world. This Buddhist saber technique should contain a lot of Buddha chi and a trace of mercy, but when it was performed by the old man in a black robe, it exuded endless evil chi. It was like a Vajra Arhat had been invaded by the heart devil and had fallen into the devil's path, becoming an Asura. You can't stop me. Xia Ping stepped forward, holding the hell spear in his hand. He was furious. The 108,000 pores on his body immediately gushed out majestic black flames, as if he was the ruler from the depths of hell. With his body as the center, a huge flame field was formed, spreading for hundreds of meters. The temperature rose sharply, and even the soil on the ground was burned into glass and molten lava. The scene was shocking. He stabbed with his spear and performed the hell martial art, Hell Demon Suppressing Spear. An amazing spear shadow stabbed out, like a divine chain of order, tearing the air apart. This spear technique was a martial art inherited from hell, which was specially used to deal with gods and demons. It had the momentum to suppress the universe and suppress all things in the world. This was the move of the god of death, a unique skill to deal with all living beings in the world. What? In the face of this spear technique, the old man in a black robe was shocked by the hell demon chi of the hell spear, which instantly wrapped his whole body. Suddenly he felt as if he had fallen into the boundless hell. He was caught by the prison guards and his whole body was locked by divine chains. He couldn't use his strength and was dragged like a dead dog. Dong. This spear bombarded with irresistible force. The saber chi in the air was immediately shattered, as if it had pierced through the air, and fiercely fell into the body of the old man in a black robe. Ah! The black-robed old man let out a blood-curdling scream and blood sprayed everywhere. His eyes were wide with despair as he was nailed to the air by the hell spear, his heart destroyed. His eyes were wide open as if he couldn't believe that he had died in this way. After all, he was a master at the 5th heaven of Supreme Power Realm with a promising future. How could he die so easily? Xia Ping circulated his Empyrean energy, causing the hell spear to erupt with a murderous aura. With a bang, the black-robed old man was reduced to a pile of meat paste, which exploded in the air like fireworks. How dare you kill my brother? Die. Die now. Seeing that the black-robed elder had been killed and exploded on the spot, the middle-aged man's eyes widened. His body was covered with terrifying muscles and veins, and his muscles were like steel armor. His eyes were wide open and his hair stood on end. He held the snake spear in his hand, and he looked like a great general from ancient times, glaring at Zhang Fei. He was so angry that his whole body jumped over like a cannonball. The snake spear stabbed at Zhang Fei with earth-shattering power, as if it had pushed away the air and turned it into a vacuum. The people present were all horrified. They could hardly see the shadow of the spear. It seemed to have turned into a strange snake and escaped into the void, making it impossible for them to guard against it. This was a king-level martial skill, Dark Snake Spear. Once performed, each spear was like a dark poisonous snake, silent and escaping into the void. The enemy had no idea where the attack would come from. Often, the enemy would be stabbed to death by his spear before they knew what was going on. Moreover, he was a master at the fifth heaven of supreme power realm himself. With this peerless spear technique, he was simply invincible. Xiaoping didn't even look at it. He directly opened his mouth and let out a roar. The lion's roar of myriad beasts' fist. This roar was like the birth of the king of the prairie, shaking heaven and earth. With Xiaoping's body as the center, a circle of condensed sound waves spread in all directions. The current lion's roar was many times more powerful than the previous lion's roar. If it was a young lion before, it was now an adult lion king. Xiaoping, who had been promoted to the supreme power realm, displayed this unique sound wave technique. It was like adding wings to a tiger. It was incomparably fierce and had the power to destroy heaven and earth. It was earth-shattering. He even injected Gang Qi into the soul-bewitching bell, forming a shadow of a trumpet in mid-air. It was like a loudspeaker, amplifying the power of the lion's roar several times. Oh no! The expression of the muscular middle-aged man suddenly changed. Although he was full of muscles, it did not mean that he was brainless. Feeling this shocking roar, he seemed to hear the whisper of death. Dong! In an instant, this roar immediately shattered his spear shadow into pieces. Moreover, his body was still in mid-air attacking Xiaoping. However, he was also hit by layers of sound waves, which shook hundreds of times in mid-air. The power of this sound wave was invisible and colorless. Even the protective Gang Qi could not resist it. It instantly penetrated the middle-aged man's body and hurt his lungs. Ah! Immediately, the middle-aged man let out a shrill scream in mid-air. His internal organs were all broken, and his whole body was destroyed by this condensed sound wave. With a bang, his body exploded. Just like the black-robed old man, he followed in his opponent's footsteps and turned into a pile of minced meat. Everyone was shocked. This was a great master at the supreme power realm of the fifth heaven. No matter where he was, he would be able to resist thousands of troops alone. Now he was killed by Xiaoping's roar. This kind of destructive power was terrible. Moreover, the power of the sound wave was not over yet. It still spread in all directions, affecting several miles. One by one, the weak disciples of the Wang family were shattered by this sound wave. Their heads burst like watermelons and they died without a whole body. The ground was also destroyed by this condensed sound wave. It seemed that even the earth had been flattened by a few centimeters. Hundreds of tons of soil were thrown out, forming a small hill. A series of astonishing fissures appeared on the ground, extending for several kilometers. The hills in the distance also seemed to crack under the shock of this sound wave. The mountains were shattered, the rocks were crushed, and the trees disappeared from this world, turning into powder and drifting with the wind. Too strong. Chapter 804. Dong Dong Dong. Xiaoping walked over step by step like a demon. Every step he took was like a giant trampling on the ground, creating deep holes in the ground. Save me quickly. Seeing such ferocity, Wang Rulong was finally afraid. His whole body was trembling as if he had fallen into an ice cave, surrounded by endless cold air. Even though he was a descendant of the Wang family, even though he was surrounded by countless experts, he did not feel safe at all. It was as if his life would be taken by this demon at any moment. He was terrified to the extreme, sullen to the extreme. He was a disciple of the Wang family, the descendant of a king. When did he fall to this state, actually being hunted down so brazenly, killed until blood flowed like rivers, completely falling apart? Save you? Whoever can save you, whoever dares to save you must die. Xiaoping's eyes were filled with terrifying killing intent, as if he had walked out of a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood. He had killed 2 grandmasters consecutively, using their blood to forge his ferocious aura. He was tyrannical and invincible. No one dared to doubt his determination and murderous intent. Why were grandmasters renowned in the world? They were invincible, able to wipe out thousands of enemies, and were respected by countless living beings. This reputation was not boasted but earned through killing. Which grandmaster did not have a mountain of corpses behind them? Which grandmaster did not kill like flies? Those who dared to offend the prestige of a grandmaster had to pay the price in blood. Too arrogant, treating the grandmasters of the Wang family like nothing. Yes, he even wants to kill someone in front of us. What is this? Let's attack together and kill him immediately. This kid has already fallen into the demonic path and has become a demon. If we don't kill him, we won't be able to appease the people. All the grandmasters of the Wang family were enraged. This kid had killed 2 grandmasters consecutively, and he still wanted to kill Wang Rulong in front of them. This was extremely arrogant. If this kid really did it, then where would the face of the Wang family be? If word got out, they would become the laughingstock of the world. They would think that the grandmasters of the Wang family were all fake and could be killed like chickens. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. They could not take it anymore, and all the grandmasters attacked. Thief Xia, go to hell. A grandmaster from the Wang family shouted angrily. He attacked with his bare fists, and his whole body was like a cannonball. His body was covered with tyrannical gang chi. He had practiced a tyrannical thwart kung fu, the famous golden bell shield. His whole body was surrounded by gang chi, which was pale gold in color. There were almost no blind spots. Even if swords and sabers slashed at him, they couldn't hurt him at all. Even sniper rifles couldn't break through his defense. He was simply a killing machine. Those who encountered him were either killed or injured. Even his cultivation had reached the supreme power 6th realm. He was the strongest except for Wang Tong. Hand over your life. How dare you kill someone from my Wang clan? This debt of blood must be paid in blood. A grandmaster from the Wang family who was wielding a giant axe also roared. His muscles were even more developed than the previous grandmaster. He was only wearing a small red singlet, which made his muscles even more ferocious. His veins were like dragons that covered his body. He used his king's unique skill, sky-splitting axe. When the axe came down, it seemed to have the power to split the sky and the earth. Even the air in front of him was split, forming a vacuum. If this unique skill was practiced to the highest level, even the earth would be split by the axe, separating 2 huge pieces of land and changing the landscape. Nothing could stop it. Die, die. All the enemies who offend my Wang clan must die. No one can survive. Go to hell with regret. With a swoosh, a short man dressed in black appeared silently behind Xia Ping. Taking advantage of the fact that the 2 grandmasters had attracted Xia Ping's attention, he used his footwork and circled behind Xia Ping. He was holding a sharp dagger in his hand, which seemed to be covered with venom. This was a strange poison in the world called jellyfish poison. Once a wound was cut on the body, the venom would invade the body. Even a person at the supreme power realm would die in a few breaths without any antidote. Because the venom took effect too quickly, the victim had no chance to take the antidote at all. Swoosh. The short man in black had a ferocious look on his face. It seemed that everyone around him could see his cruel expression. The sharp dagger flashed in the air, piercing towards Xia Ping's back. With such a short distance and such a fast speed, it seemed unstoppable. Bang. However, just when the short man in black thought that Xia Ping would definitely be killed by his attack, his dagger was 1 meter away from Xia Ping's body, and the situation suddenly changed. A terrifying aura rose from Xia Ping's body. His gang chi vibrated as if a rock had enveloped his body. With his body as the center, a terrifying vortex formed in a radius of several meters. When his dagger fell into these vortexes, it was as if it had fallen into a swamp. It was blocked by layers of gang chi. Even if it wanted to advance a centimeter, it would require a lot of strength. How is this possible? What kind of protective technique is this? The short man in black was horrified and his face was pale. As an assassin, he had to kill with 1 strike. If he did not succeed, he would immediately escape. This was the essence of an assassin. Speed was the essence of an assassin. But now that he had fallen into a swamp, his body seemed to be surrounded by endless gang chi vortexes. His body could hardly move. Even if he wanted to escape, he had no chance in a short time. An assassin who had lost his speed was no different from a lamb. I've already said, go ask the king of hell. Xia Ping turned around, and his palm turned into an eagle's claw, grabbing at the man fiercely. Bang! Immediately, the short man in black's head was smashed like a watermelon. It turned into a ball of blood, burst open and spilled all over the ground. There was only a headless corpse left on the ground. The blood that splashed out was blocked by Xia Ping's gang chi, so it did not affect his clothes and did not stain the dust. Bastard! Seeing that Xia Ping had killed another grandmaster of the Wang family, the remaining disciples of the Wang family were dumbfounded. In an instant, they had formed an irreconcilable hatred with Xia Ping. All of them went crazy and attacked. I told you, you can't stop me. Xia Ping stabbed with his spear. Immediately the grandmaster screamed. His golden bell chi shield, known as the Absolute Defense, was pierced by the hell spear. It was as fragile as tofu. That was to be expected. Even if the golden bell chi shield could withstand countless swords and even sniper guns, how could it resist the Hell Spear, a weapon of hell? This precious weapon was invincible and specialized in breaking internal gang chi. The so-called Golden Bell Chi shield was no different from scraps of paper in front of the Hell Spear. It was not worth mentioning. Chapter 805. But this is just the beginning. At this time, the Grandmaster with the giant axe came down from the sky with amazing momentum. It seems that this area has turned into a vacuum zone, and even the earth has been pressed down by such a strong wind by several centimeters. Xiaoping didn't even look at it. He stretched out his left hand and ran the aura in his body. At this moment, his left hand seemed to turn into the claw of the golden crow of hell, showing a pale golden color. Dong. It was this claw that immediately caught hold of the giant axe and forcefully resisted it just like that. The tyrannical force broke out like a flood, and the ground where Xiaoping was immediately shaken out, a huge pit with a diameter of tens of meters, and the soil splashed. But Xiaoping was still unmoved, standing where he was, unharmed, and these tyrannical forces were absorbed by Dark North's body protection technique, transferred and scattered on the ground. Impossible. The Grandmaster with the giant axe completely collapsed. Why are you not dead yet? Why are you not dead yet? Under my heaven-splitting axe, no one should be able to survive. Even a monster will be split in half by my giant axe, but now you are still alive. Illusion, this is definitely an illusion. What kind of camouflage did you use? He couldn't accept it at all, and his self-confidence completely collapsed. Originally, he was extremely confident in his axe and thought that no one could match it. Even Wang Tong, the strongest here, didn't think he was much stronger than himself. But now there was a monster, Xiaoping, who didn't do anything. He caught his giant axe with his bare hands and was unscathed. This is simply a blatant mockery of him. This is denying his path to the Grandmaster. If his axe has no effect on the enemy, then what is the point of practicing martial arts and cultivating? Stupid. Xiaoping didn't even bother to talk nonsense with this Grandmaster with a brain full of muscles. The void is a bucket, and the spear of hell in his right hand pierced through his body on the spot. He ran the aura a little and immediately shook the axe Grandmaster into a ball of meat sauce and into pieces. Not good, this Xia thief is too strong. Not an opponent at all. The Grandmaster is as fragile as a baby in his hands. This is the champion of the genius battle, this is the monster with the aptitude of the invincible king. How can he be so strong? Was he still human? Even a divine beast can't compare. Before this, I thought that I wasn't that far off from these monsters, and that there was still a chance for me to compete with them. But now it seems like there's no point in competing. One person killing a whole group of us, how can we compete? Let's run. If we continue to stay here, we'll definitely die. After consecutively killing several Grandmasters, the Wang clan disciples came to their senses. Their anger subsided and was replaced by fear, terror, and deep regret. Why was he so foolish to offend such a monster? Wasn't that courting death? If they were able to kill their opponents, perhaps they would be filled with rage and chop their opponents into pieces. However, their opponent's strength was not something they could match. Even if they charged forward, they would only be sending themselves to their deaths. They had used all their strength in an attack, yet the other party was completely unscathed. How could they have the courage to do so? Kill? Xiaoping rushed forward. His whole body was covered with astral energy, and like a cannonball, he rushed into the crowd. He was simply like a speeding tank, sweeping everything in his way. These Wang clan disciples were no different from ordinary people without any resistance. They were all sent flying and exploded in mid-air. Their deaths were extremely miserable. He crushed all the Wang clan disciples who stood in his way. He was invincible, and in the end no one could stop him. He arrived in front of Wang Rulong just like that. Corpses fell to the ground one after another. Blood flowed everywhere, and the air was filled with an unpleasant smell. At this moment, Wang Rulong was completely petrified. The Grandmasters who had been protecting him had all died. Now there was no one left to protect him. Even if there were still Grandmasters alive, after seeing Xiaoping's ferocity, who would dare to attack? He knelt on the ground, paralyzed with fear and trembling all over. Even his uncle, Wang Tong, had a gloomy expression at this moment. His eyes were filled with fear as he weighed the pros and cons. Save me, hurry up and save me. I'm a direct descendant of the Wang clan. You pieces of trash, hurry up and save me. Come and save me. What are you waiting for? Wang Rulong was extremely frightened. His face was pale as he let out an angry roar. He shouted at the Wang clan disciples in the distance, hoping that they could come and save him and kill this ferocious monster. But at this moment no one dared to move and no one dared to come forward. It wasn't that no one came forward previously. There were brave people but they were all dead. They were stabbed to death by Xia Ping's spear without mercy. It seemed that no matter how much courage they had, it was incomparably laughable in front of this ferocious monster. Even the grandmasters who came forward were all dead. They were completely killed by this ferocious monster. Who else would dare to come forward? Save you? Who else can save you now? If I want to kill you, who dares to stop me? Xia Ping looked down at Wang Rulong from above. He looked at him calmly as if he was looking at an ant. Being looked at like this, high and mighty like a god. As a direct descendant of the Wang clan, how could Wang Rulong bear such a gaze? He was the descendant of a king, how could he be an ant? But this man was too terrifying. He had killed so many Wang clan disciples that even the grandmasters did not dare to come forward to save him. They could only stand at a distance and watch him die. Such unparalleled ferocity made countless people tremble. Xia Ping, go to hell, go to hell. You want to kill me? It's not that easy, not that easy. Wang Rulong was going crazy. He took out the energy gun in his hand and fired wildly at Xia Ping. This was the only weapon he had that could kill a grandmaster, and it was also his only hope. Fool. Xia Ping's figure flashed. Under the mind scan, no movement could be hidden. This energy gun was powerful, but no matter how powerful it was, the trigger had to be pulled and the muzzle had to be aimed. As long as these movements existed, there would be a moment of delay. In front of a grandmaster, this kind of delay was a fatal flaw. With a whoosh, he used the Kunpeng steps and a pair of wings grew on his back. Without a sound, he appeared behind Wang Rulong in an instant. No. Wang Rulong was scared half to death. He was extremely terrified and wanted to turn around and shoot Xia Ping. Xia Ping did not even look at him. He slammed his palm through the air and hit Wang Rulong's head ruthlessly. Dong. This palm strike was extremely powerful and contained a terrifying force. Wang Rulong's head exploded like a balloon, and his flesh splattered everywhere. This force even spread to his entire body. His entire body could not withstand it and was shaken into a pile of meat paste. Chapter 806. Bastard. Seeing Wang Rulong killed by Xia Ping, Wang Tong was so angry that he spat out a mouthful of blood. You dare to kill my nephew? My Wang clan will not rest until you are dead. Just you wait, my Wang clan ancestor will not let you go. You are dead for sure. He was furious to the extreme. So many elites of his Wang clan had been killed by Xia Ping, and now even a direct descendant like Wang Rulong had been killed on the spot. This was simply an unbearable loss. If this was in the outside world, it would have caused a huge commotion and would have been condemned by countless people. However, this was the Myriad Treasures Island, a dangerous sea region. It would not be strange even if many people died. Even if they wanted to complain, they could not do anything for the time being. Oh, I'll wait for your Wang clan ancestor to bite me. With a swoosh, Xia Ping instantly attacked. He held the Hell Spear in his hand and attacked Wang Tong. A pair of wings grew out from his back, making him look like a rock. His speed was inconceivable. He immediately arrived in front of Wang Tong and stabbed with the spear, exploding with great power. Bastard. Wang Tong clenched his teeth. He felt a fatal crisis. This spear was incomparably terrifying. It concentrated all of Xia Ping's essence, qi, and spirit. It was practically his strongest attack. It was as if his soul was being targeted by the god of death. A terrifying sickle slashed over, wanting to completely take away his soul and drag it into hell. Even a huge vortex appeared in the air. Countless qi revolved and surrounded his body. No matter how he struggled, he was surrounded by the qi and had nowhere to escape. Dong. This spear easily pierced through Wang Tong's body, piercing through his chest. Blood splattered everywhere, bursting out and scattering on the ground with a poochie sound. No. Wang Tong's eyes widened. His pupils revealed shock, disbelief, fear, and other emotions. It was as if he could not believe that he had died so tragically in the hands of a junior. He was stabbed to death by a spear just like that. With a plop, his corpse fell to the ground, sending up a cloud of dust. Seeing this situation, the remaining descendants of the Wang family were scared to the point of wetting their pants. Even their leader Wang Tong had died. In addition, this brat had killed a few grandmasters with a wave of his hand. Basically, the battle strength of the upper echelons had been wiped out. Right now they only had some useless soldiers and crab generals. Facing such a fiend, if they continued to resist, they would probably follow in the footsteps of Wang Tong and the others, and be killed on the spot. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Their hands and feet were nimble, and their courage had been completely scared out of their wits. They quickly fled into the distance as if there was oil on their soles. Some displayed peerless qigong, stepping on the air as if they were walking on the moon, moving quickly. Some were like large birds, gliding through the air while manipulating stellar energy. Whistling sounds could be heard from the surroundings. There were also some who ran on the great earth like cheetahs, hiding from place to place extremely fast. You can't escape. A cold light flashed in Xiaoping's eyes. He grabbed out with his hand, causing the air to tremble thousands of times. Fireballs immediately condensed in the air. With a boom, these fireballs numbered in the hundreds and thousands. Under the control of his will, they flew quickly and smashed into the crowd, exploding on the spot. Suddenly, these fireballs exploded with shocking power, as if hundreds of tons of explosives had exploded. This explosion was enough to destroy the area within a radius of several miles. Ah ah ah. One by one, the disciples of the Wang family let out shrill screams. They couldn't withstand such an explosion and were blown to pieces in an instant. Not even their bones were left. Even though some of them avoided the center of the explosion, their bodies were contaminated by a large amount of flames. These flames were the essence of the sun and were extremely fierce. Once touched, it was difficult to get rid of them. Even water couldn't completely extinguish these flames. They would burn the enemy's life until the last moment. With a boom, all the disciples of the Wang family within a radius of several miles were killed. None of them could escape. They were either blown to death on the spot, torn to pieces, or burned to ashes by the flames. Not bad. Xiaoping grabbed with his hand and immediately grabbed the energy gun left behind by Wang Rulong. This was a technological weapon that could kill a master-level expert. Its value was not small. Once obtained, it would be a huge killing weapon. However, he carefully looked at it. This energy gun also seemed to consume a lot of energy. Every time it fired, it would consume a lot of energy. Unless one was rich, they wouldn't be able to afford this kind of weapon. But for him, this amount of energy consumption was nothing. It was like a drop in the ocean. There are still quite a few spirit medicines. Xiaoping also continued to search. He discovered that these disciples of the Wang family also had a lot of harvests on Myriad Treasures Island. They found many precious spirit medicines. For example, 1,000-year-old ginseng, deer antler, ganoderma, and so on. These were all valuable spirit medicines in the outside world. Even if you paid a huge price, you might not be able to obtain them. But in a place like Myriad Treasures Island, these spirit medicines could be obtained at will. Be careful, there are quite a few people heading this way. Jianghu immediately warned. She searched for spirit chi fluctuations within a radius of 100 miles and knew that many martial artists were quickly heading this way. Perhaps they were attracted by the intense battle and wanted to know what had happened. But it was completely conceivable that if these martial artists saw Xiaoping defeat a group of bandits and even obtain all the treasures on them, something bad would definitely happen. Perhaps they would directly start fighting and fight to the death. Okay, then let's go. Xiaoping nodded. He didn't want to waste his energy here for no reason. After all, if he was surrounded on Myriad Treasures Island, he was afraid that he would be in danger. He wanted to continue to search for treasures on Myriad Treasures Island. As soon as his voice fell, he and Jianghu quickly left. Just 10 minutes after Xiaoping and Jianghu left, many martial artists broke through the air and came to the center of the battle between Xiaoping and the disciples of the Wang family. When they saw the traces of the battle around them, all of them were frightened. My God, what a fierce battle! The disciples of the Wang family are all members of the Wang family. There are many experts in the 6th stage of the Supreme Power Realm among them. No way, so many people in such tyrannical strength. How could they be wiped out? Indeed, it's too strange. What happened? Did these disciples of the Wang family encounter a terrible monster? Otherwise, how could this happen? It's not a monster. Look at their treasures. All of them have been taken away. How could a monster do such a thing? Yes, but we also have to be careful. Otherwise, we might fail miserably in an easy task and be ambushed by others, dying on the spot. The Myriad Treasures Island is too dangerous. We must stay alert. It's really miserable. If these disciples of the Wang family were in the outside world, no one would dare to provoke them. But here they are no different from ordinary brothers. Chapter 807. At this time, a huge ship was anchored outside a beach on Myriad Treasures Island. At this time, 5 figures walked out from the ship. They flew in the air as if the air itself had solidified. With their bodies as the center, a terrifying aura was formed. It seemed that anyone who dared to approach this aura would die without a burial. If someone saw these figures, they would definitely be shocked out of their wits and prostrate themselves in worship. These were existences that could not be resisted because these figures were impressively kings. They were the Ox King, the Cat King, the Snake King, the Bear King, and the Black Scorpion King. These kings were adventuring near the endless sea. Then they received the news from Myriad Monster Mountain and quickly rushed here. As for the Black Scorpion King, he came from thousands of miles away in order to kill his enemy Xia Ping and avenge his son. This is Myriad Treasures Island? Sure enough, the spirit energy is dense and there are many spirit herbs. I guess we can get a lot of harvest from this island. The Cat King laughed. He moved his nose and took a deep breath to feel the smell here. It seemed that he had learned most of the information about this island through the smell. We are not here to search for treasures but to kill. The Black Scorpion King's body emitted endless killing intent. No matter what, that human Xia Ping must die this time. No one can save him. He clenched his fists and was filled with killing intent. Among the many kings, his killing intent towards Xia Ping was the heaviest and the most urgent. It had no choice. Its son had died at the hands of this human, and its heart was constantly tormented. It wanted nothing more than to immediately take revenge, but it was obstructed by the human king. It could only watch as this damned human got away with it, and he was even doing very well. The greater Xia Ping's reputation was, the more painful it would be to slap its face. Now the chance he had been waiting for finally appeared. He was simply ecstatic and impatient. Black Scorpion King, no need to be so nervous. He is just a human and not even a king yet. As long as we find this brat, we can kill him like crushing an ant. The Bear King said arrogantly with absolute confidence. But this was also a normal thing. The difference between a king and a master was only one level, but this difference was enough to make countless warriors feel despair. Even if millions of masters joined hands, they would not be able to kill a king. That's right. They're just mere humans. What's the big deal? Previously, I let him stir up trouble everywhere, but that's because he didn't meet a king. This can also be considered as that human's bad luck. I reckon that he made the 1,000 Monster Mountain fear him to such an extent. If he doesn't die, the heavens won't forgive him. To be able to make a fiend king take action, even if he dies, he can still be proud of himself. He can enter the annals of history. Their words were filled with contempt for Xia Ping. They believed that they could kill Xia Ping with a wave of their hands. There would definitely not be any problems. This was the confidence of a king. Everyone, it's better to be careful. The Black Scorpion King clenched his teeth. This human is not simple. He is cunning and shameless. Despicable is his nature. Who knows how many geniuses of the demon race have fallen at his hands? Even the kings have almost suffered losses. If we underestimate this human, we might suffer a little. He might even find an opportunity to escape. If that happens, we'll lose all our face. It was very cautious. Ever since the last incident, it had become extremely low-key. It was careful in everything it did and was no longer as reckless as before. Black Scorpion King. The Snake Demon King laughed cruelly. You really are a demon, but you don't have guts. Where did the confidence of the previous 72 kings go? Why are you so scared now? To tell you the truth, this is a master, just a master. Plus he's a human. What do you think this human has to contend against us? Even if we stand here without moving and let him hit us, this brat won't be able to hurt us at all. Do you know what a fiend king is? It looked at the Black Scorpion King with disdain. It thought that this guy was as timid as a mouse, lowering the noble character of a fiend king. Facing a mere human master, he had to be cautious. This was simply a joke. Did he really think that the threat of the 5 kings was a joke? Even if this brat was Monkey's son, he would not be able to escape from the Buddha's 5-finger mountain. Snake Demon King. Hearing this, the Black Scorpion King's face turned as black as charcoal. It roared angrily, "You motherfucker, do you want to die? You dare to call me a coward? I'm just being cautious. Do you understand being cautious? You're just a retard with muscles all over your head. How can you understand the greatness of wisdom? What a joke." It felt humiliated and yelled angrily. "Wisdom? Is it as powerful as your fists? Do you believe that I won't smash you into minced meat with one punch? Let's see how you'll defeat me with wisdom then." The Snake Demon King sneered and remained unmoved. "Interesting. Then come and practice. I've disliked you for a long time." The Black Scorpion King was so angry that he laughed. A terrifying evil aura gushed out of his body, distorting the space and causing the earth to tremble. After being humiliated by Xia Ping during this period of time, he had suffered great humiliation. However, this also made him reflect on the painful experience. His cultivation had improved by leaps and bounds, and he was now a level stronger than before. The Snake Demon King and the Black Scorpion King faced each other. Two balls of black energy burst out and collided with each other. Immediately, a huge crater was formed. Soil flew everywhere and the scene was shocking. Enough. The Ox Demon King stood out. With a light bump, he immediately separated the two Fiend Kings and sent them flying hundreds of meters away. He said coldly, "This time we're here to complete the mission, not to fight amongst ourselves. If you want to fight amongst yourselves, wait until this is over. At that time, no one will stop you no matter how you fight." His tone was stern, warning the two Fiend Kings not to fight amongst themselves. Upon hearing this, the Black Scorpion King snorted coldly. "Consider yourself lucky this time. You have the Ox Demon King's help. Otherwise you would definitely die a tragic death today. You sure talk big. Why didn't you kill a few human monarchs before this?" The Snake Demon King also sneered. These words immediately infuriated the Black Scorpion King. His face turned green. However, when he recalled the Ox Demon King's warning and his hatred for Xia Ping, he temporarily endured it. "Alright, Snake Demon King, you are not allowed to provoke me. Otherwise, you will definitely be punished if you cause trouble," the Ox Demon King said in a deep voice as he glared at the Snake Demon King. The Snake Demon King didn't say anything, but he also didn't say such provocative words. "Let's go and find the human Xia Ping. Once we find him, we'll kill him on the spot," the Ox Demon King said indifferently. He directly gave the order. This order was very simple and direct. There was no plan. They just had to crush their way through. This was the tyranny of a Fiend King. Once found, the other party would definitely die. No matter what tricks they had, it would be useless. This was the suppression of absolute strength. Everything else was useless. Whoosh, whoosh. Chapter 808. One day later. Xia Ping and Jianghu were walking around Myriad Treasures Island, constantly searching for traces of other people. Finally, they arrived at a huge volcanic mountain range. This mountain range was filled with countless volcanoes, each one spewing out a large amount of lava. The sky was filled with gray dust, forming a dense black mass. The surroundings were filled with a scalding temperature. Large amounts of red lava flowed on the ground, as if a flood dragon was entrenched on the ground, appearing malevolent and fierce. At this moment, at the foot of the largest volcano, a large number of experts were gathered. The road leading to the volcano's summit was surrounded by a large number of sea race experts. This was the famous shark race of the sea. Each of them held a spear in their hands and wore black armor. They were fully armed and their fangs were fierce. Their momentum was aggressive and they were uniformed just like an army. Moreover, their numbers were extremely shocking. It seemed as if the shark race had sent an army into Myriad Treasures Island. They were extremely tyrannical, sealing off the entire volcano, not allowing anyone to enter or leave. Many human martial artists also arrived here, but they seemed to be very afraid of the shark race's strength. Each and every one of them lingered at the foot of the volcano, unwilling to leave. What's going on? Why are there so many people gathered here? Could it be that there's some kind of treasure? Xia Ping immediately stepped forward and asked. He wanted to inquire about some information. Of course there's a treasure in this volcano. The legendary geocentric Ganoderma grows in this largest volcano. Indeed, the geocentric Ganoderma is a supreme treasure bred from the flames of the Earth's core. It's incomparably precious and can only be born in the hottest environment. However, after these deep-sea demons learned of this news, they immediately surrounded the volcano, not allowing any human to enter or leave. They are extremely tyrannical. Truly hateful, to actually forcefully seize the treasure. There's no other way. They are stronger than us. These sea race demons are numerous and their strength is formidable. Who would dare to resist? It's just a pity that the geocentric Ganoderma was snatched away by these sea race demons. Many human martial artists were extremely regretful. They clearly knew that the geocentric Ganoderma was in the depths of the volcano, but they were unable to enter because they were blocked by the sea race demons. Geocentric Ganoderma? Hearing this, Xia Ping and Jianghu's eyes lit up. They had been searching for almost an entire day just to find the geocentric Ganoderma. Who would have thought that they would actually obtain news of it in this place? Thinking of this, he immediately stepped forward and shouted at the group of shark demons, "I am a great character of the human race. Quickly let us in, and in the future there will be great benefits for you." He put on an expression as if he was a big shot, asking the group of shark demons to make way for him. Scram. A shark monster general shot him a sidelong glance. He said with disdain, "Little brat, you are a great figure of the human race, so don't boast here. Do you really think my shark monster race is so stupid? Hurry up and get the hell out of here." It waved its hand wanting to chase Xiaoping away. With a slap, Xiaoping slapped the shark demon, causing it to spin on the spot. Its face was swollen and a few of its teeth were almost knocked out. Damn it, this kid is crazy. The group of human martial artists was dumbfounded. In the face of so many shark demons, he actually dared to act here, slapping one in the face on the spot. This was far too daring. Because this had happened so suddenly, the group of shark demons were also in a daze. The shark monster general covered his swollen face, as if he couldn't believe that a human would actually dare to act against him. For a time they didn't know what to say. They could only stare at Xiaoping with wide eyes. Scram? Xiaoping cursed, "You actually dare to say such words to me? Do you know who I am? I am a member of the human race's Wang family. People call me Wang Rulong, the descendant of a king, yet you still dare to disrespect me? You simply don't know how to write the word death. Did your leader not teach you any etiquette? When facing great figures you should be respectful. Do you really need to force me to flip out before you understand the principles of being a monster?" He revealed the appearance of a hedonistic young master. The human race's Wang family? The surrounding human martial artists were all shocked. No wonder this boy was so arrogant. So he was a direct descendant of a king family. It was only natural for him to have such a hedonistic attitude. Human race's Wang family? The group of shark monsters were also stunned. They had heard of the Wang family before. This king family had a king guarding it, equivalent to a monster king. His strength was tyrannical and not simple at all. "I'm not boasting. I have good relations with the upper echelons of your shark monster race and have been friends for generations. If you dare to offend me, I will give the order and your head will roll to the ground." Xiaoping continued to boast, conveniently shifting the blame onto the Wang family. He exuded the aura of a great figure, as if he wanted to scold the other party like a senior disciplining a junior. His attitude was condescending, as if he were treating this group of shark monsters as his own little brothers, loudly reprimanding them. "Friendship my ass." At this time the shark monster general finally reacted. He immediately cursed, "My shark monster race is absolutely irreconcilable with the human race. There is a blood feud between us, so how could a human be friends with my shark monster race? Don't lie here. The human race's Wang family has also killed many of our shark monster brothers and sisters, yet you still want to be friends with our leader? Dream on." It was nearly driven mad with rage. This boy's arrogant attitude had nearly scared it silly. After all, in the face of so many shark monsters, this boy still dared to slap it in the face. If this boy didn't have a backer, then what else could it be? If this human really did know a great figure of its shark monster race, then if he were to casually say a few bad words behind their backs, its head might not even be able to keep. Fortunately, it had heard the flaw in his words and was able to expose the true face of this evil human. But it couldn't help but say that this fellow really did have the aura of a great figure. If it weren't for the deep hatred between the shark race and the human race, then perhaps it really might have been scared silly, thinking that this human really did have a deep friendship with the upper echelons of the shark race. After all, sometimes humans also had friendly relations with some sea monster races, even cooperating with each other and carrying out business transactions. "I can't scare you? Didn't they say that the intelligence of the shark race isn't high?" Xiaoping blinked his eyes and muttered. The shark monster general's complexion turned as black as charcoal. Fuck, this bastard human was really trying to scare them. Moreover, he even thought that their shark race was easy to deceive. Just how much did he look down on the intelligence of their shark monster race? When had their shark monster race ever been seen by a human to such an extent that he thought he could fool a 3-year-old child? Chapter 809. Human, you actually dare to scare me? The shark monster general was enraged. He angrily roared and raised his giant axe, wanting to chop this tiny human to death. He wanted to see if there was another human who didn't know life from death that dared to scare him. But before the shark monster general could act, something was thrown out from Xiaoping's hand, accurately smashing into the Shark Monster General's face. This immediately caused the Shark Monster General to be even angrier, feeling that this human was still trying to humiliate him. But when he clearly saw what this thing was, he was stunned. This was a ginseng that had several hundred years of history. It was surrounded by a rich medicinal energy that was startling. The group of shark monsters widened their eyes, looking over with incomparable desire. Their blood was boiling. They felt that if they could swallow this 100-year-old wild ginseng, their cultivation would definitely improve by a large margin. This. The Shark Monster General was stunned once more. Even if he was beaten to death, he would never have thought that this human would throw out such a precious spirit medicine. After all, to a grandmaster, this was an incredible harvest. It's for you. Xia Ping stood with his hands behind his back, a calm and composed look on his face. For me? The Shark Monster General was stunned. He didn't understand Xia Ping's meaning. He was giving away such a precious pill just like that? He had never seen such a generous human before. Xia Ping carelessly said, "That's right, I'm giving it to you. Such a good spirit medicine, I bet you poor ghost shark monsters haven't seen it before. If I give it to you to eat, I bet you'll be moved to tears. Alright, now scram for me. I want to go through from here." He waved his hand as if he were ordering his own slaves. Hearing this, the group of shark monsters all turned green. Poor ghost shark monsters, how could they have never seen such a good thing in their lives? Although it looked like he was giving them a gift, why was every word so infuriating? They were so infuriated that they wanted to violently beat this human up. This bastard human was looking down on monsters too much. Although there were too many shark monsters, even if the underwater world was rich, on average the majority of shark monsters wouldn't be able to obtain anything good. They were living a miserable life. Only the boss was rich. The little brothers didn't have much money. But even so, he couldn't look down on shark monsters and say that they were poor ghosts that hadn't seen much of the world. If they really accepted the gift, wouldn't it mean that they were really poor monsters? From now on, he would no longer be able to raise his head in front of the demon clan. The corners of the mouths of the surrounding human martial artists twitched. This was a bribe, and a blatant bribe at that. As expected of a hedonistic son of a rich family, he was extremely proficient in such methods. It was as if he could do it with just a wave of his hand, without the slightest bit of hesitation. It was as if this was his natural instinct, as if he was born with it. But they had never imagined that this fellow would dare to openly bribe these shark demons. Furthermore, his attitude was so arrogant. It was as if he wasn't bribing them but rewarding them instead. He had a condescending attitude, as if he was the master of this group of shark demons. This kid was probably used to being domineering. Even when facing a group of demons, he was still so arrogant and bossy. Fuck off. You actually dare to use money to humiliate our shark demon clan? You're just seeking your own death. The Shark Monster General angrily shouted out, "Do you think that this bit of filthy money can humiliate the demonic character of my shark monster race? You are simply dreaming." He was seething with rage. How much money can a demonic character be worth? If one ginseng isn't enough, then 2, 3, 10? I don't have much, but I do have a lot of spirit medicines. Name a price. Xia Ping revealed a rich and overbearing appearance. But let me warn you, if you miss this opportunity, there won't be another one. According to the ability of you poor ghost shark demons to earn money, this is wealth that you will never be able to earn in your entire lifetime. Think about it carefully, there won't be any more benefits in the future. As a monster, you must know how to make money, otherwise you'll be a poor ghost for the rest of your life. No one will be able to save you. He had a condescending expression as he lectured these monsters. Looking at Xia Ping's appearance as if he was using money to smash the monsters, the surrounding human martial artists were left speechless. Although they had seen many rich and overbearing local tyrants before, this was the first time they had seen someone as arrogant as this boy. Hearing this, many shark monsters revealed looks of eagerness. Indeed, if they missed this opportunity, there really wouldn't be a next time. Moreover, even if they obtained a treasure, it would be their leader who obtained it. It wouldn't have anything to do with them. Since that was the case, if they didn't take advantage of this chance to make a fortune, then when would they ever have to wait? It's over, this is bad. As the Shark Monster General saw the eagerness on his companion's face, he immediately cursed inwardly. This was a sign that he had been corrupted by the human sugar-coated bullets. If this continued, then the simple and hard-working style of their shark monster race would be destroyed by humans. Would they still be able to share weal and woe in the future? Would they still be able to help each other in the same boat? What a despicable and evil human, to actually think of such a despicable scheme to destroy the unity of the shark monster race. This was simply digging up the roots of their shark monster race. The shark monster general's heart tightened. He immediately thought of many serious consequences, even thinking of how the shark monster race would be corrupted and how it would finally fall apart. Shameless human, you want to harm my shark monster race? Die for me. The shark monster general angrily shouted. He couldn't allow this human to continue like this. He had to kill this boy and eradicate this root of calamity. Bang! In an instant he chopped down with his axe, trying to cleave this human in half. If you don't want it, then don't. I gave you elixirs, but you still want to harm people. You monsters really don't keep your promises. Xia Ping's figure flickered as he displayed the Kunping step. With a swoosh, the shark monster general's axe chopped through the air, but it only hit Xia Ping's shadow. The giant axe smashed down, splitting the ground in half with a cracking sound. This attack was enough to show the shark monster general's terrifying strength, which was no less than that of a supreme power expert at the sixth sky. Damn human, don't dodge if you have the guts. Take my axe. The shark monster general flew into a rage out of humiliation and roared. Xia Ping originally wanted to fight back, but after scanning with his mental strength, he immediately sensed that there were dozens of tyrannical auras gushing out from the depths of the flame mountain. Among them, there were many experts at the 7th and 8th sky of supreme power. These experts seemed to be staring in this direction, as if they would attack at any time and capture him. Stupid shark monster, you don't even know who you have offended. Just wait for me. Soon, my Wang family's army will come to your border and slaughter your shark monster race until blood flows like a river. We will completely remove your name from the endless sea. You will regret offending me, Wang Rulong, today. After throwing down those words, Xia Ping yelled, turned around and fled with Jianghu. Human, don't run. The shark monster general was furious. He wanted to chase after Xia Ping and capture him, but Xia Ping's speed was too fast. Even if he wanted to chase after him, he couldn't do anything. Chapter 8:10. Amazing. As expected of a king family, he actually dares to threaten the Shark Yao clan. How satisfying. Truly satisfying. This Wang Rulong's guts are as high as the heavens. I never thought that the Wang family would be so capable. I feel that Wang Rulong's arrogance will bring disaster to the Wang family. If he offends the Shark Yao clan, the Wang family will be in deep trouble. What's there to be afraid of? Wang Rulong is so domineering that he must have some trump cards. Otherwise, why would he dare to do such a thing? Could it be that he's used to acting like a tyrant and that's why he thinks that what humans do will work in front of these monsters? Don't worry. The Wang family's strength is not to be underestimated. They won't be afraid of these sea monsters. At most, both sides will suffer. This Wang Rulong is truly a hero of the human race. He would rather the Wang family and the Shark Yao clan both suffer in order to avenge the humans. If this isn't heroic, then what is? He's simply putting his life on the line. The surrounding human cultivators were filled with admiration. They felt that this Wang Rulong actually dared to resist the threat of the Shark Yao clan. He didn't even forget to say that he would destroy the Shark Yao clan. If he didn't have some guts and strength, how would he dare to do such a suicidal thing? The Wang family's strength must be extraordinary, enough to face the Shark Yao clan head-on. Damn it. Seeing Xia Ping and Jianghu leave, the Shark Yao general and the other monsters gnashed their teeth in anger. They couldn't get rid of this hateful human, which made them feel indignant. This human is crazy. He actually wants to destroy our Shark Yao clan. He doesn't even know how to write the word death. The other side is a king family with a king guarding them. Their strength is terrifying. Who knows, they might really target our Shark Yao clan. What's there to be afraid of? A puny human wants to fight against our Shark Yao clan? He must be tired of living. If he dares to come, we'll destroy him. He who strikes first gains the upper hand. When we get out, we'll immediately report to the king. Our army will crush the Wang family, leaving no one alive. Right, kill the chicken to scare the monkey. Let's see if other humans dare to disrespect our Shark Yao clan. Many of the shark demons were gnashing their teeth in anger. They took Xia Ping's words to heart. There had never been a human who dared to say such ruthless words to them. Wanting to exterminate their entire clan, he was too arrogant. When they heard these words, they couldn't bear it at all. Another day passed. Xia Ping and Jianghu wanted to break through the Flame Mountain's defenses, but they discovered that there were 3 entrances to the Flame Mountain. However, they were all guarded by sea monsters, not allowing martial artists to enter. The first entrance was guarded by the Shark Demon clan. The second entrance was guarded by the Jellyfish clan. They were a powerful clan that could rival the Shark Demon clan. They were shaped like transparent umbrellas, and the diameter of the umbrellas varied according to the size of the jellyfish. The diameter of the jellyfish's umbrellas could reach up to 2 meters. The edge of the umbrella-shaped body had some whisker-like tentacles, some of which could reach up to 30 meters long. Don't be fooled by their weak appearance. Their strength caused the Shark Demon clan to be extremely fearful. Although these jellyfish monsters didn't have any powerful strength, their bodies contained a potent poison. Once the skin was cut, the poison would invade and the enemy would die in a few breaths of time. This was a monster that was comparable to a hedgehog. It was impossible to touch. If one angered the jellyfish clan, they would explode with their poison, killing all the creatures in the sea. Moreover, their bodies were composed of the water element. If one didn't hit their core, they wouldn't be able to harm them at all. They were formless and had an extremely strong defense. As for the third entrance, it was guarded by the Crab clan. The Crab clan was a natural-born sea monster commander. As the saying goes, shrimp soldiers and crab generals were enough to prove how terrifying the Crab clan was. They had a pair of indestructible caliceri. Once they were used, they were like divine weapons that could instantly cut through anything. Even diamonds could be easily torn apart. Ordinary creatures couldn't resist them at all. It was said that the Crab clan had 13 chances to transform and evolve in their lifetime. Every time they transformed, their strength would undergo a heaven-shaking change, as if their life force would rise to a higher level. No, we can't go in at all. After a day of searching, Jianghu shook her head. There are too many of these 3 sea monster clans. There are tens of thousands of them, and masters are as common as rain. If we rashly go in, we'll die. She used the search device and sensed the situation of the Flame Mountains. She immediately knew that this mountain range was densely packed with enemies. It was simply terrifying. It could be called a dragon's pool and tiger's den. This kind of situation made her whole body shiver. If she dared to go in, only death would await her. It was no wonder that so many human warriors stayed at the periphery of the Flame Mountains. They probably knew the strength of these sea monsters. Once a conflict broke out, there would be countless casualties. There's only one geocentric Ganoderma. Xiaoping rubbed his chin, a cold light flashing in his eyes. But now there are 3 sea monster clans fighting for it. Tell me, what do you think the relationship between these sea monsters is like? They're definitely at each other's throats. Jianghu thought for a moment, then said in a low voice, and it's said that these 3 sea monsters are the overlords of the endless sea. Usually, in order to fight for territory, there's a blood feud between them. There are countless casualties. But this time, in order to fight against us humans and the many land monsters, they've temporarily joined forces and abandoned their usual prejudice. She revealed some information. In other words, their relationship isn't that good. If we can sow discord between them and cause the 3 sides to fight, we'll be able to fish in troubled waters. Xiaoping said with a smile. Although he could rely on the space ring and the invisible pearl to silently sneak into the depths of the Flame Mountains, that would be meaningless. After entering, he would encounter countless sea monsters. So he wanted to take advantage of this opportunity to weaken the strength of these sea monsters and create an opportunity to obtain the geocentric Ganoderma. You want to sow discord? Jianghu was stunned. That's impossible. Although the relationship between these sea monsters isn't good, they're very vigilant towards humans. Even if they get close, they won't let us get close. How can we sow discord like this? She felt that Xiaoping's plan wasn't reliable. After all, they couldn't even get close to each other. Wanting to sow discord between the 3 sea monsters was simply a dream. Don't worry. Leave this matter to me. You just need to watch the show from the side. Xiaoping rubbed his chin. He had long since thought of a plan. After these days of exploration, he discovered that the Rui mask could not only change one's appearance. If he could control it well, he could even change his own body shape, turning into all kinds of monsters. It was similar to the legendary 72 transformations. Of course, it was only the appearance. It didn't have the abilities of a monster. Chapter 8:11. At this time, in the base of the Jellyfish clan, there was a huge pool. This pool was actually dug out by the Jellyfish clan out of thin air. Then they dug through the underground water, turning this place into a pool that covered an area of 2 to 3 acres. Because the Jellyfish clan was a marine creature, their entire body was made of water. Basically, they needed to replenish water at all times. Otherwise they would die from lack of water. Although some powerful jellyfish could use their own strength to reduce the loss of water, they preferred to stay in places with water and replenish water at all times. Therefore, every time the jellyfish soldiers changed their guard, they would come to this pool to replenish water and take a temporary rest. What a terrible place. A jellyfish soldier stayed in the pool, lying very comfortably. With a face full of complaints he said, "I don't know why those humans like to stay on land. There is no water at all. What's the difference between this place and a desert? Staying in the sea is still more comfortable. There is water everywhere and I can swim around lazily." It felt that it had come to a very difficult environment. If it was not for the leader's order, it would not have come to such a harsh place like land. Isn't that right? The so-called land is simply a tumor. It would be great if there was no such thing as land in the world. It would be all ocean. That would be the perfect environment. Those damn humans and land monsters actually call themselves the masters of the cloud realm. They are simply shameless. Who doesn't know that the area of the cloud realm's ocean is the largest? We, the underwater monsters, are the real masters of the cloud realm. That's right. Those humans are all so arrogant. They don't even have the ability to survive in the ocean. They are simply too weak. I'm not bragging. Puny humans, I kill everyone I see to get rid of the evil for the monsters. Those humans outside want to break into the volcano and compete with us jellyfish clan for the treasure. They don't even know how to write the word death. How can such a treasure belong to weak humans? Don't they know that an ordinary man's wealth will cause him to get into trouble? Just let those humans watch from outside. If they dare to come up, kill them all. If it was not for the leader's order, I think I would have already started a massacre. Why would I let those humans covet the treasure outside? According to my plan, we should first clean up the humans on the island, kill them, and then slowly search for the treasure. Isn't this a good plan? It's ridiculous to let these ambitious humans stay by my side. The leader has his own concerns. He's probably afraid that we'll suffer heavy losses if we kill these humans. What's there to be afraid of? What's the big deal about a small human being? The poison of our jellyfish race is not something to be trifled with. Once it explodes, it's enough to wipe out all the living creatures on this island more than 10 times over. Many jellyfishes were chatting casually. All of them were extremely arrogant and looked down on humans. They believed that they were the overlords of the ocean and that other than them, the others were all barbarians who had yet to be civilized. "Brother, why aren't you talking? Why haven't I seen you before?" Suddenly, a heaven grass jellyfish spoke. It looked at the very quiet jellyfish next to it and felt very confused. It felt that this jellyfish was very strange, as if it had never seen it before. This ordinary jellyfish had obviously been transformed by Xia Ping using the wishful mask. He had snuck into the crowd of jellyfish, but because he was worried that he would expose himself, he had not spoken. Hearing the heaven grass jellyfish's question, Xia Ping blinked his eyes. "I'm new here, and this is the first time I've met you, so it's normal that you don't know me. I'm new here, so I don't have any good things. These useless ginseng are my greeting gifts to you seniors. I hope you won't mind." He immediately took out ginseng from his body and distributed them to the jellyfishes around him as if they were free. What? Originally, the surrounding jellyfishes wanted to be modest and refuse Xia Ping's gifts, but when they saw that each ginseng was more than 300 years old and had rich medicinal power, they almost stared at it with their eyes wide open. They had to admit that these ginseng were of great benefit to their evolution. Immediately they couldn't bear to look away, and their eyes seemed to be glowing. "Ahem, oh really, you're new. No wonder you don't know me. But why are you being so polite? Even without these gifts we would still take care of you." That's right. You make it sound like we're very grateful for your gifts. However, since these are my kind gifts, if we refuse them, I'm afraid that it will hurt my heart and cause indelible damage to its soul. This is not appropriate. It's indeed inappropriate. It's a little thoughtless. Brother, you're thoughtful and considerate. This time we'll accept them. Just don't do it again. The jellyfishes shouted and said, "Just don't do it again." They were very agile and quickly took the ginseng, as if they were afraid that it would be taken away by others. Even if Xia Ping went back on his words, they wouldn't hand it over. "Seniors, you're too polite." Xia Ping cupped his hands and said, "It's my honor to accept my gifts. Besides, I'm so excited to see the elite warriors of our jellyfish clan at such a close distance, as if I've seen my idol. It's just a small gift. It's my filial piety to you." After a round of flattery, the group of jellyfishes immediately felt very comfortable. No matter what race, no matter what kind of life they were, they all liked to hear good things and hated to hear bad things. Suddenly, the group of jellyfishes found Xia Ping very pleasing to the eye. This was a junior who knew how to be a monster. He was well educated and polite, respected the old and loved the young. He was gentle, kind, and thrifty. Not bad, not bad. Young jellyfishes nowadays are all proud and arrogant. They don't even care about the old. They don't know that they are rookies and have no right to look down on others. The heaven grass jellyfish looked at Xia Ping with satisfaction. It felt that this young man was a promising talent and could be taught. That's true. Xia Ping nodded repeatedly. But I feel strange. Why do we have to guard the volcano? Can't we just sneak into the depths of the volcano and pick the geocentric Ganoderma? The longer we stay here, the more dangerous it will be, right? He immediately voiced out his doubts and inadvertently asked his own question. We also want to pick it, but the geocentric Ganoderma is not ripe yet. We need to wait for 1 or 2 days. The heaven grass jellyfish did not doubt him. So we still have to guard here for a few days to stop those rascals. Chapter 8:12. I see. Then I'm relieved. Xia Ping nodded and heaved a sigh of relief. Since the geocentric Ganoderma hadn't been picked by the monsters, he still had a chance to get it. He wouldn't have to work so hard for such a long time. Come, brother, have some sashimi? The heaven grass jellyfish called out. Its tentacles stretched out and immediately took a plate of sashimi. It tastes good. I guarantee you'll have a good aftertaste. Taking a bath while eating delicacies is simply the highest level of enjoyment. It happily ate the sashimi. Where did these sashimi come from? Xia Ping asked casually. The heaven grass jellyfish answered, they were all sent by the shark demon clan. They went to the sea and caught a lot of fish. They gave some to us, saying that they were giving them to our jellyfish clan. The two clans are on good terms. It indicated that these fish were all sent by the shark demon. No way. I heard that the shark demons are despicable mere people. They once fought with our jellyfish clan. There's a serious conflict between us. Why would they be so kind as to give us food? It can't be a trick, right? Xia Ping calmly tried to sow dissension. Trick? No way. Now we're working together to block the flame mountain. We're all in the same boat and helping each other. How could the shark demons have any tricks? Yes. Don't worry. With the strength of our jellyfish clan, even if the shark demons have tricks, we can beat the crap out of those muscle-headed trash in minutes. That's right, that's right. I reckon that group of shark demons wanted to curry favor with us, so they sent the food over. And we've already checked the food. There shouldn't be any problem. The group of jellyfish chattered. They expressed that they didn't need to worry. They were very confident and didn't fear the shark demon's tricks. Xia Ping's eyes flashed. It seemed that the cooperation between the mere people was quite solid. He believed that the other side wouldn't have any special ideas or tricks. However, he suddenly raised this question not without reason. He did it on purpose. After entering the jellyfish encampment, he used the invisible bead to walk around and explore the environment. When he came to the place where the jellyfish stored their food, he immediately poisoned the food with the 100-flowered mussel softening powder. This poison was extracted from 100 types of poisonous flowers. It was colorless and odorless. Once consumed, even a zongsher would feel their body going limp and weak. Within 7 days they would not have much battle prowess left, just like a cripple. This was exchanged by Xia Ping through the system for 5 million hatred points, just to plot against this group of jellyfish. Forget it. The shark demon and I are absolutely irreconcilable. I won't eat the food sent by these enemies. Xia Ping said with a righteous expression, expressing that he would not eat it. After all, the food was poisoned by him. How could he eat it? He would not seek death. All right, since you're so stubborn, I won't eat it. Don't regret it. The heaven grass jellyfish didn't think much of it. There were indeed some jellyfish that were very hostile towards the shark demon clan, so Xia Ping's attitude wasn't a big deal. The jellyfishes ignored Xia Ping and continued to eat. A few minutes later, the medicinal effect of the 100-flower mussel softening powder quickly took effect, causing many jellyfish to be affected. Ah! Suddenly, a jellyfish shouted and its expression changed. What's going on? My body suddenly became limp and weak, and the gang chi in my body seems to have collapsed. What happened? It panicked. If the gang chi in its body collapsed, then it would have no strength at all, almost like a cripple. For a jellyfish, this was a fatal blow. Me too, I feel the same. Damn it, my strength is disappearing little by little. What the hell happened? Many jellyfish's expressions changed dramatically. In this world where the weak were prey to the strong, no one knew better than them what it meant to lose their strength. Mere people without strength were no different from ordinary fish. They were simply at the mercy of others, and could only serve as food for those strong mere people in the sea. Poison, it's definitely poison. Xia Ping shouted, I've already said that the shark demons were up to no good and had ulterior motives, but you didn't believe me before. Now look, all of you have been poisoned by the shark demons. This time it's over. He immediately shifted the blame to the shark demons. It can't be, is it really the shark demons who poisoned us? Many jellyfish were in a state of confusion. This matter happened too quickly and they were not mentally prepared at all. It must be them. Xia Ping's tone was incomparably certain. Think about it carefully, there is only one geocentric Ganoderma, but there are 3 major races gathered here. If the geocentric Ganoderma matures, then who will this spirit medicine belong to? He looked at the many jellyfish. But according to the previous agreement, our 3 major races can equally divide this geocentric Ganoderma. A jellyfish said. Equally my ass. Xia Ping scolded, if there is a chance to monopolize it, who would want to share it with you? Are you stupid? Now the shark demon's aim is very clear, they want to monopolize the geocentric Ganoderma. But if they want to monopolize it, they have to get rid of the tiger in their way. And the jellyfish race is so strong, so of course they are a thorn in their side. The first to plot against them is our jellyfish race. The reason why they are so kind as to send us food is to make us lower our guard, and at the same time poison the food, completely eliminating the jellyfish race's battle strength and monopolizing the world. Hearing these words, many jellyfish were shocked. Indeed, this was the case. There was only one geocentric Ganoderma, and there were 3 major races fighting over it. Although according to the agreement they planned to divide the geocentric Ganoderma equally, the problem was that if they could monopolize it, who wouldn't want to monopolize it? Naturally, the shark demons also wanted to monopolize it. Therefore, the shark demons poisoned them, wanting to get rid of their competitors in advance. Shameless shark demons to actually use this kind of despicable action. Too hateful, wanting to secretly harm my jellyfish race, I will not forgive them. What an evil and despicable shark demons, to even think of this kind of malicious idea. As expected, they cannot be trusted. One by one, the jellyfish clenched their teeth, instantly enraged. What are you waiting for? Immediately go and find the shark demons to settle the debt, denounce them. Xia Ping loudly instigated, if they don't give us an explanation, this matter will not end. My jellyfish race is not a soft persimmon that anyone can pinch. His voice was stern, filled with righteous indignation. That's right, find the shark demons to settle the debt. Fortunately, we found out in time. If we waited for all the food to be eaten by the jellyfish, we would be like turtles in a jar, waiting to be slaughtered. They want to completely destroy us. That group of shark demons is extremely vicious. We treat them as friends, but they want to destroy us. Go find them to settle the debt. Chapter 8:13. At this moment in the camp of the shark demons. Damn it, that human Wang Rulong ran too fast. We can't find any trace of him anywhere. God knows where he went. One of the shark demons said angrily, if we catch that human, we'll definitely tear him to pieces. He actually wants to fool us. He really doesn't know what's good for him. They searched the vicinity of the blazing mountain, hoping to find Xia Ping. However, they didn't find any trace of him even after a long time, so they gave up and returned to the camp. That's right. A puny human dares to say that he wants to exterminate our shark demon clan. He's too arrogant. Such a madman must be killed to scare the monkeys. That's right. If Wang Rulong doesn't die, there will be people coming to provoke us everywhere. When that time comes, where will the reputation of our shark demon clan go? Pass down the order. Once Wang Rulong is found, kill him immediately. There's no need to report. Many shark demons were filled with murderous intent. They would kill any human who dared to provoke their clan. There was absolutely no possibility of mercy. Moreover, Xia Ping's actions were a great insult to their shark demon clan. If they didn't kill this human, where would their clan's face go? Report. All of a sudden, a shark demon soldier hurriedly rushed over and shouted, Lord Commander, it's not good. The jellyfish army is pressing down on us. There are so many of them and they're so aggressive. They're clamoring for us to give them an explanation, or they'll massacre the entire shark demon clan. They're so arrogant. What? Hearing this, many of the shark demon generals were shocked. Didn't they reach a peace agreement with the jellyfish clan? Now that this group of jellyfish had gone crazy, they actually brought a large number of people to cause trouble for them. Immediately, they didn't care about what was happening. They immediately led their soldiers out and confronted the jellyfish clan that had arrived outside the camp. Jellyfish. A shark demon commander shouted, "Why did you mobilize so many people to come here? Do you want to tear up the agreement between the three clans? Do you know how big of a crime this is? Why aren't you leaving?" It stood on the moral high ground and tried to intimidate the jellyfish clan. "Shut up, despicable shark demon." The jellyfish commander shouted angrily, "Your ugly faces make us feel nauseous. It was you who wanted to tear up the agreement between the three tribes, secretly poisoned the food and killed our elite jellyfish soldiers. Now you actually want to bite back, saying that we want to tear up the agreement. Your shark monster race is nothing more than a bunch of two-faced, shameless people who go back on their word, even worse than humans. If you do not give us an explanation today, we will slaughter your entire shark demon clan." It was murderous and furious. This was not a joke. If the jellyfish soldiers hadn't discovered the problem with the food in time and allowed all the jellyfish to eat it, they would have all been killed. As soon as it thought of the possibility that something like this might happen and that it would fall into the same trap, it felt a lingering fear. This was a hatred that could wipe out its entire clan. If it didn't go crazy today and didn't find an explanation, anyone could plot against them. They wanted to use their blood to tell those who tried to deal with the jellyfish that if they wanted to deal with them, they would have to pay the price in blood. No one was an exception. Poisoning food? What on earth are you talking about? The shark demon generals were all in a state of confusion. They didn't know what this group of jellyfish was talking about. Still playing dumb. The jellyfish commander sneered. "The food you brought before was poisoned. Many of our jellyfish soldiers ate your food and fell to the ground one by one, losing their strength. Fortunately, there weren't many jellyfish that ate your food, so the loss was still manageable. If all of our jellyfish had eaten your food, I'm afraid there wouldn't be many left standing here. You really made a good plan." It stared at the group of shark demons, murderous. "No, that's not true. Our two races have been on good terms for generations. How could we poison our food? Don't listen to the rumors." The shark demon general felt very wronged. He definitely didn't do such a thing. Otherwise, why didn't he know about this matter? "That's right, where's the evidence? You said that we, the shark demons, poisoned your food. Where's the evidence? Don't accuse others just because you can. You need evidence to speak. Our shark demon race is righteous. We definitely wouldn't do such a despicable thing." "That's right. You're clearly doubting our moral character. Do you think we're as shameless as humans? You've gone too far." The group of shark demons shouted angrily, denying that this matter had anything to do with them. "Shut up." The jellyfish commander sneered. "The food was all sent by you. Besides you, who else would poison our food? We have both witnesses and material evidence, yet you still dare to quibble. You're really shameless. Since you don't want to admit it, I'll capture you and torture you. There will come a time when you'll admit it." It didn't believe a single word of these shark demons. It wanted to use its strength to capture all of these shark demons alive and then torture them. At that time, the truth would come out. The shark demon generals had ugly expressions. If the jellyfish race decided to start a war with them, they would definitely suffer heavy losses. Who knew how many of their brothers would be killed or injured? If it was just a war, they wouldn't be too afraid. In any case, they had fought countless battles like this in the ocean. Every day they hovered between life and death. The problem was, starting a war for no reason made them feel extremely sullen. It was as if they were the scapegoats of others. "Lord Commander." At this time, a voice suddenly sounded from among the shark demons. "Since the matter has been exposed, we don't need to be polite with these despicable jellyfish. Let's directly kill them and make their blood flow like a river. In any case, we shark demons are invincible. These weak jellyfish can't compare at all. After we kill this group of jellyfish, the geocentric Ganoderma will belong to us." The matter had been exposed. Hearing this, the hearts of all the shark demons jumped. Could it be that what these jellyfish said was true? The shark demons, had really poisoned these jellyfish. Did they want to kill them all? The ordinary shark demons also knew that they didn't have the qualifications to know the plans of the higher-ups. So when they heard these words, they really believed that the higher-ups had made such a decision. In fact, they didn't feel that there was anything wrong with such a decision. After all, the relationship between the jellyfish race and their shark demon race wasn't very good. Taking advantage of this opportunity, it wasn't that they couldn't do something like exterminating the other party. What a good shark demon. The jellyfish commander flew into a rage. Previously, you were still acting hypocritically, saying that you didn't poison the jellyfish. Now that your own people have said that the matter has been exposed, with witnesses and material evidence, I want to see how you can deny it. Chapter 8:14. Misunderstanding. This is a huge misunderstanding. Don't listen to the rumors, think twice. The shark monster commander squeezed out a smile, wanting to urge them to stay. He didn't want to start a war with the jellyfish race at this time, because this would definitely cause them great losses. Moreover, they were surrounded by wolves and it was unknown how many enemies there were. If the two races started a war, both sides would suffer losses and others would benefit. Now was not a good time for the two races to fight. As the commander, he had to consider the overall situation. Misunderstanding my ass. Still trying to quibble. The jellyfish commander roared, "Wait until I kill your entire family, then we'll talk about this as a misunderstanding. Let's see if you still misunderstand." How could he still listen to the shark monster commander's words? Right now his lungs were about to explode. If the shark monster's plan really succeeded, their jellyfish race would be finished. The warriors that came to Myriad Treasures Island would all die. If this really happened, he would be the sinner of the jellyfish race and even he himself would not be spared. It could be imagined how angry he was right now. He even had the thought of killing the shark monster commander. "Lord Commander, let's kill these stupid jellyfish. In any case, many of them have been poisoned, and their battle strength has been greatly reduced. They are no match for our shark monster race. Let's take this opportunity to exterminate them, killing two birds with one stone." That voice sounded out again, wanting the shark monster to attack and exterminate the jellyfish race. Adding oil to the fire. This was clearly adding oil to the fire. The shark monster commander was so angry that his heart ached. He wished he could immediately grab that shark monster and beat him up. Could it be that he was trying to avoid fighting to the death with the jellyfish race? But that bastard, as if he wanted the world to be in chaos, as if he was afraid that not enough people from the shark monster race had died, he was actually adding oil to the fire, and was even clamoring to exterminate the jellyfish race. Exterminate your sister. If they could really exterminate the jellyfish race, then there was no need for him to say anything. He would have already killed them. Why would he wait until now? Although the jellyfish race had lost some elite soldiers, the majority of their elites were still there. Their strength was still strong and they were not much weaker than the shark monster race. If they fought now, both sides would definitely suffer. Pig teammate. This was definitely a super invincible pig teammate. He had never seen such an idiot before. The shark monster commander was so angry that his head began to hurt. With such a teammate here, the shark monster clan would definitely suffer countless casualties this time. It looked around trying to find the shark demon who was talking nonsense, but it couldn't find him. It also didn't know where the voice came from. But these words really stimulated the jellyfish race. Like a flame, it instantly ignited the flame barrel in their hearts, and they exploded on the spot. Despicable and shameless shark demon. What else do you want to say? You want to exterminate my jellyfish race. What else do you want to say? This group of shark demons are even more despicable and shameless than humans. I've never seen demons with such thick skin. Kill them. Immediately get rid of these shark demons who talk like they're farts. Get revenge for our brothers. You still want to annihilate us? I'd like to see how you're going to annihilate my jellyfish clan. Kill this group of muscle-headed shark demons, let them see the power of my jellyfish race. We're not to be trifled with. The group of jellyfish flew into a rage. How could they endure these words? The other side was brazenly saying that they wanted to annihilate them, openly declaring war. If they could still endure it, then what difference was there between them and a turtle hiding in its shell? Even if they endured shit, they still couldn't endure this. Stupid jellyfish, you want to annihilate my shark monster clan? You're not qualified. With your remnant troops, we can annihilate you in minutes. Tonight we'll have a feast, a jellyfish banquet. That voice rang out again. It was extremely infuriating, as if it wished for the world to be in chaos. Who is it? Who the fuck is speaking nonsense? If you don't speak, no one will think you're mute. Do you know that speaking nonsense can cause people to die? Immediately stand out and I promise I won't beat you to death. The shark monster commander was going crazy from anger. It roared. Even at this time they were still provoking them. That was because they didn't want the shark demons to die fast enough. Its powerful mental energy swept the surroundings, covering the entire encampment, searching for every single shark demon, but it couldn't find them. It was as if this voice had appeared out of thin air. You're still acting here. Do you really fucking think that my jellyfish clan is stupid? That we can be tricked by you shark monsters? That we have to help you count the money after being abducted and sold by you? Today, if my jellyfish clan doesn't annihilate you shark monsters, I swear I'm not a monster. The jellyfish commander couldn't take it anymore, and immediately attacked the group of shark monsters. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Immediately the group of jellyfish attacked. The tentacles on their bodies attacked as fast as lightning and as indestructible as spears. With a dong, the bodies of more than 10 shark monsters were pierced by the tentacles, dripping with blood. These tentacles even injected large amounts of poison into them, invading the bodies of these shark monsters. Ah! The group of shark monsters let out mournful cries. Their bodies were invaded by the poison, and the poison attacked their hearts. Their flesh seemed to be rotting and they all fell to the ground completely dead. Even if they were grandmasters, it was useless. The poison of these jellyfish was extremely terrifying, and it spread quickly. Once it entered the blood, there was no way to save it. Damn jellyfish, they really dared to attack. Kill this group of stupid jellyfish. They came to our encampment for fun, so how can we just close our eyes and wait for death? Since this group of jellyfish wants to fight, then let's fight. We shark monsters are not to be trifled with. Reckless jellyfish, you want to behave atrociously in our encampment? You're not qualified. Seeing the death of more than 10 of their shark monster companions, dripping with blood, this scene also provoked the other shark monsters, and all of them flew into a rage. The others had already come to their encampment, so how could they still remain indifferent? They didn't need the shark monster commander's orders at all. One by one they attacked, holding huge axes in their hands, chopping at the group of jellyfish. Their strength was heavy, and their bravery was unparalleled. Damn it. Seeing this situation, the shark monster commander's heart was burning with anxiety. This was simply a lose-lose situation. But now that the situation was so chaotic, even if he wanted to stop it, it was impossible. Right now, he simply hated that shark monster who had spoken so carelessly. If it weren't for that bastard, how could things have developed to such an unmanageable state? Now it was all over. Shark monster commander, die for me. The jellyfish commander roared in anger. It attacked, attacking the shark monster commander. Countless tentacles appeared, trying to pierce through the shark monster commander's body and poison it to death. Scram. The shark monster commander's hair stood on end. Now was not the time to think of a peaceful solution. The other party had come with killing intent, and if he didn't fight he would die without a doubt. He also rushed over, fighting with the other party. Chi vibrated and the ground rumbled, causing shocking cracks to appear. Chapter 8:15. Go to hell, despicable shark demon. A jellyfish roared. It was a heaven-net jellyfish. Its body was enormous and its canopy was 5 meters in diameter. There were 8 groups of tentacles under the canopy, and each group had about 150 tentacles. Every tentacle was over 40 meters long, and it could shrink to 1/10 of its original length in a second. There were even needles on its tentacles that could shoot out poisonous spikes. When all of its tentacles unfolded, it was as if an inescapable net had been laid down. The net covered an area of 500 square meters. Any ferocious animal that entered the net would be captured without a fight. Dong. It released all of its tentacles and instantly enveloped a shark demon. The powerful tentacles wrapped around the shark demon's body and produced an extremely powerful binding force. No matter how powerful the shark demon was, it couldn't break free. With a few poochie sounds, many needles appeared on the tentacles. They pierced in and released poison. Ah! With a miserable scream, the shark demon immediately died. Its entire body was pitch black, clearly poisoned to death. You killed my brother. Jellyfish, you will die a horrible death. A shark demon rushed over. Its enormous body was like a small mountain, and it held a giant axe in its hand. It hacked down from the air, producing a terrifying aura that shook the air. Bang! A jellyfish was caught off guard, and it was instantly split in the middle by the giant axe. Even its core was split in half and shattered. That jellyfish didn't even have the power to struggle, and it was hacked to death just like that. From this, one could see how tyrannical and unparalleled the shark demon was. It wasn't something that ordinary creatures could resist. You are the ones who will die a horrible death. Secretly poisoning my clansmen, you are the shame of the undersea demon race. Nonsense, you are maliciously slandering me, creating something out of nothing. You want to slander my shark demon race's reputation? Dream on. The evidence is irrefutable, so what is there to slander? Your skin is extremely thick, and you don't even dare to admit your wrongdoings. So what if we admit it? Aren't you jellyfish the most venomous creatures in the ocean, known to be immune to all poisons? So what if you eat a bit of poison? You can just treat it as a midnight snack. Fuck you, it really was done by you shameless shark demons. I will exterminate you. Exterminate my ass. I'll chop you sissies to death with my axe. A group of jellyfishes and shark demons cursed at each other, and at the same time they began to fight. Every move they made was fatal and they tried to kill each other. They didn't have the slightest intention of holding back. Some shark demons chopped down with their axes, smashing a jellyfish's body into pieces. But before the jellyfish died, a tentacle instantly pierced through the shark demon's body. The poison spread into the blood, killing the shark demon on the spot. Both sides suffered. In just a dozen or so minutes, both sides had suffered heavy casualties. Battle cries shook the heavens and the ground had crumbled. Huge craters appeared one after another, shocking cracks appeared, and crushed stones flew in all directions. In particular, when the monsters at the Grandmaster level attacked, it was like two human-shaped Gundams colliding. Every time they collided, a strong gang chi would erupt, shattering the huge rocks nearby. Even the shockwaves caused many demons to be severely injured. This won't do. If this continues, I'm afraid only a few of us shark demons will be able to survive. The shark demon commander's expression was very ugly. He knew that if this continued, even if they won against the jellyfish race, it would be a Pyrrhic victory. Moreover, they were now on Myriad Treasures Island, and there were many enemies present. If they were left with serious injuries, they would definitely be targeted by other enemies and die without a burial. Even if they won, they wouldn't have any benefits. If they lost, it would be the worst. All their companions would die and they would be completely wiped out. At this time, a strange shark demon quietly came over and said mysteriously, "Commander, we can't continue like this. I'm afraid our shark demon army will be completely wiped out. Why don't we shift the blame to the crab race? We can say that this matter was actually done by the crab race, and it has nothing to do with us shark demons." Shift the blame? Hearing this, the shark demon commander's eyes lit up. This was indeed a good idea. Now, they and the jellyfish race were in a fierce battle and there were countless casualties. Then, the ones who would benefit the most would be the crab race. It was estimated that after this matter was completely over, they and the jellyfish race would both be heavily injured, and they would no longer have the strength to contend against the crab race. They could only watch helplessly as the other party took away the geocentric Ganoderma. However, when the shark demon commander wanted to ask that ordinary shark demon again, he discovered that the other party had disappeared in front of him. Even if he wanted to find him, he couldn't. He was very mysterious. But now was not the time to investigate this. He endured his doubts and immediately shouted at the jellyfish commander, "Stop, stop immediately." I suddenly remembered that the ones who poisoned the jellyfish race might not be us, but the crab race. They are the real culprits. What? Hearing this, the jellyfish and shark demons who were fighting were stunned, and they temporarily stopped. What do you mean by that? The jellyfish commander stared at the shark demon commander. You can eat whatever you want, but you can't say whatever you want. Do you have proof for saying these words? Of course I have proof. The shark demon commander casually said, "Actually, when we were catching those fish, the crab race came to our station and had a long talk with us. We drank a lot of wine and everyone was drunk. I reckon that at that time, the crab race took advantage of us not paying attention and poisoned the food. Their goal was to frame my shark race and jellyfish race. They wanted to be the fisherman who benefits from the fight." It revealed a look of deep hatred and resentment. Many jellyfish and shark demons were shocked. If this was true, then the crab race was really sinister and shameless to the extreme. The jellyfish commander's eyes flickered. This isn't evidence, it's just a story. You can casually make it up, but it can't prove the innocence of you shark demons. Bullshit. The shark demon commander seemed to have suffered a great humiliation and loudly shouted, "My words can be seen by the heavens and the earth, the sun and the moon. Who dares to say that I'm making things up? Think about it carefully. When our two races fight to the death, who is the one who benefits the most? Moreover, by poisoning the food, it's impossible to wipe out all of you. At most, it will kill a part of your race and most of the elites will be fine. This kind of behavior not only can't eliminate the jellyfish race, but it may also anger you and bring about crazy revenge. For my shark demon race, the gains do not make up for the losses. But the crab race is different. When our two sides fight, they are simply happy to see it happen and gain the most benefits. If it wasn't them, who else could it be? If you still don't believe me, immediately go to the crab race's station and confront them face to face. Hearing this, the surrounding jellyfish and shark demons couldn't help but nod. If they fought to the death because of the crab race, then the joke would be too big. Good. Then let's go find the crab race and confront them. Chapter 8:16. At this time in the crab race's camp, many crab demons were overjoyed because they had heard the news of the war between the jellyfish race and the shark demon race. They were all gloating. Haha, the idiots of the jellyfish race and the shark demon race actually started a war for no reason. Moreover, they look like they won't stop until one of them is dead. Their fight is earth-shattering and blood flows like a river. Even I, a spectator, am a little scared. A crab demon grandmaster proudly revealed the information he knew. What's going on? Why did they suddenly start a war? It doesn't make sense at all. Some crab demons did not understand. Even if the two races did not have a good relationship, they were still facing a great enemy. Countless hungry wolves were eyeing them. Who would dare to make a move and waste their strength? However, they did not care about this. They were extremely angry and wanted to destroy the other side. No one knew what kind of deep hatred they had for each other. It is said that the shark demon race poisoned the jellyfish race and wanted to use this chance to destroy the jellyfish race. Who would have thought that the jellyfish race would be so vigilant and discovered it in advance? They controlled the losses. The crab demon grandmaster said, "The result is obvious." The jellyfish race was so angry that they could not live under the same sky as the shark demon race. They immediately gathered their troops and went to settle the debt with the shark demon race. He revealed the cause and effect of the war. So that's how it is. No wonder the jellyfish race went all out. If it was us, we would also go crazy. Isn't that so? They poisoned their food and wanted to destroy them. If this isn't deep hatred, then what is it? They are really shameless shark demons. They even did such an evil thing. Aren't they afraid of retribution? Those shark demons have done so many evil things. They are afraid of retribution, so they stopped doing it long ago. Fuck, these shark demons are really shameless. They have learned bad things from humans. They really don't learn good things and only learn bad things. They are simply the cancer of us sea demons. Many crab demons cursed. Although this matter had nothing to do with them, they felt that the shark demons had gone too far. Wait, those shark demons want to deal with the jellyfish race. Do they want to deal with us? Could they have poisoned our food as well? A crab demon suddenly thought of this matter and immediately became vigilant. Many of the crab demons felt their hearts tighten. This kind of thing wasn't impossible. The group of shark demons were so shameless. They didn't just want to deal with the jellyfish, they also wanted to deal with the crab demon race. Don't worry. The crab demon commander sneered. Previously, that group of shark demons also wanted to give us some food. They said that it was a reward for the friendship between the two races. But I refused. The reason was that I was not used to the food prepared by other races. I guess they also poisoned the food, but I refused so they didn't harm anyone. It looked as if it had everything under control. As expected of the Lord Commander. His wisdom surpasses others. Fuck, that group of shark demons really deserve to die. They even want to harm our crab demon race. They said. God, demon, I have with king, I clan, I have demon. Many of the crab demons felt a lingering fear in their hearts. If it weren't for their commander refusing the other party's food, perhaps they too would have been tricked and killed by the group of shark demons. When they thought about how they had almost been plotted against as well, all of them went mad with rage, and boundless hostility instantly arose towards that group of shark demons. Report. All of a sudden, a crab demon soldier rushed in from afar. It was sweating profusely as it rushed over. Before it even got close, it shouted, "Commander, it's not good. The jellyfish race and the shark demon race have joined hands. They've already killed their way here. It seems like they want to punish us and settle the score." What? Instantly, all the crab demons were startled. Weren't these two races fighting each other fiercely just a while ago? Why did they join hands and come to the crab demon's base? Punish? What do they want? A crab demon grandmaster asked. The crab demon soldier immediately said, "The shark demons and the others said that the poison was done by us crab demons, so they came here to denounce us, to demand an explanation and to seek justice." Bullshit. A crab monster grandmaster was so angry that his nose became crooked. This is utter nonsense. It was clearly the shark monsters who did this, yet they still dare to frame us. They are simply shameless. He didn't think that there was such a shameless race in the world. They were the ones who did it, but they wanted to blame it on them. They want to punish us? What a joke. We haven't even punished them yet. They want to join hands with the jellyfish race. They are shameless. Damn. I knew that the shark demons are shameless. Their skin is thicker than the city wall. Today I see. Shameless shark demons. I will kill them. The faces of many crab demons turned green. They could also imagine the shameless faces of the shark demons. They just didn't want to fight against the jellyfish clan, so they framed the crab demons and poured dirty water on them. Although their behavior was despicable, it was very effective. They succeeded. Shark demons. Damn it. The crab demon commander clenched his teeth. He hated the shark demons. Dong. At this time, the dozens of crab demons guarding outside were sent flying. They smashed into the ground. Mud flew everywhere. Deep cracks appeared on the ground. They vomited blood and screamed. So. In a few minutes, the jellyfish race and the shark demon race arrived. They arrived in front of the crab demon race. Jellyfish, shark demon. The crab demon commander roared, "What do you mean? Your army is here. You even hurt my crab demon race's guards. If you don't give me an explanation, you will be leaving," he said sternly. Crab demon. The shark demon commander immediately said, "Don't play dumb. We came here to ask you for an explanation. Why did you poison the jellyfish race?" He even shifted the blame to me, the shark demon. "You want to sow discord. You want us to fight with the jellyfish race. Both sides will suffer. Then you can get the geocentric Ganoderma. Honestly, your conspiracy has been exposed. Don't be stubborn. Admit it." He first put a big hat on the crab demon. He said it was the crab demon race's conspiracy. "Admit your ass." The crab demon commander was so angry that smoke came out of his nose. This shameless shark demon put a hat on him. He said it was the crab demon race's conspiracy. This showed how sinister the shark demon race was. "Lord Commander, since the matter has been exposed, we don't need to be polite with these defeated soldiers. Let's kill them together." Chapter 8:17. The matter had been exposed again? Hearing these words, the shark demon commander had a feeling that this was unprecedented. Why did it feel that these words were very familiar, as if it had heard them somewhere before? It was as if it had caused the war between the jellyfish race and the shark demon race, and there was a stupid blue shark demon that jumped out and said that the matter had been exposed, causing the jellyfish race to be furious. And now, in the crab demon race, could it be that there was also such a stupid blue shark demon? What are you saying? At this moment, the crab demon commander was in a state of confusion. It originally wanted to explain to the jellyfish race, saying that this was the evil plot of the shark demon, and that the purpose was to divert the trouble, and that they could not be fooled by this evil race. But before it could say anything, a little brother of its race jumped out and said that the matter had been exposed, and wanted the crab demon to annihilate the jellyfish race and the shark demon race. Motherfucker, this brat was completely crazy. He wanted to kill the crab demon race. "Lord Commander," that little brother of the crab demon said carelessly, "at this time, there is no need to hide anymore. I actually know everything." This was all because of Lord Commander's strategy, which caused the shark demon race and the jellyfish race to fight to the death, causing both sides to suffer. Now that the plan has succeeded, these two despicable races no longer have the ability to contend against our crab demon race. We will take advantage of this opportunity to annihilate them, monopolize the geocentric Ganoderma, and unify the world. It looked at the crab demon commander with a face of worship, as if it was a fanatical fan. Strategizing? The crab demon commander's face was blank. How could it not know that it was once so awesome and even had a strategy causing the two races to fight to the death, and its crab demon race to reap the benefits? In reality, these days it did not do anything, just eat and sleep, sleep and eat. It can't be these are all Lord Commander's plans? Too awesome. Before I thought that Lord Commander was stupid and had no intelligence, I didn't expect him to be so smart. Sowing dissension, moving in the dark, watching the fire from the other side, a series of plans, it is dazzling. Is Lord Commander really so awesome? Why can't I see it? You can't judge a book by its cover. The group of crab demons discussed spiritedly. They also felt that it was strange. Why did the jellyfish and shark demons, these two great races, suddenly fight to the death? If no one used any tricks, no one would believe it. Now that he heard that it was the crab demon commander who had secretly framed him, everything became clear. They also understood their Lord Commander's goal, which was to monopolize the geocentric Ganoderma. Therefore he had to get rid of these two obstacles in his way. Clearly he was very successful now. It really is the Crab Demon clan's scheme. Fuck, what a treacherous crab demon. It's even more treacherous than the shark demon. Why couldn't I tell before? I thought they were honest and kind. I didn't expect them to be so evil. You can't judge a demon by its appearance. The more honest and kind he looks, the more vicious he is. Let's learn from the mistakes of others. Despicable and shameless. They actually caused a great war between us and the shark demon race, resulting in countless casualties. These crab demons truly deserve to die. Fortunately, we discovered it in time. Otherwise, if we were to fight to the death with the shark demons, they would have truly profited. That's right, we've exhausted all of our strength. Who else can contend against the crab demon? No one, there's no one left. Many jellyfish were furious. Originally, they were skeptical of the shark demon's words, but after hearing the crab demon's words, they didn't have the slightest bit of doubt. Other than this group of crab demons, who else could do such a thing? At this moment, the shark demon commander's entire body felt refreshed. He had finally gotten rid of this matter and let the crab demon clan take the blame. However, he still had to thank that stupid green crab demon. If it wasn't for that stupid youth suddenly opening his mouth and shouting everywhere, how could things have gone so smoothly? He was very emotional. Every big clan had a few burdens that held them back. They were all pig-headed teammates. If these pig-headed teammates were on his side, he would simply be extremely angry. However, if they were on the enemy's side, then it was like a pie falling from the sky. He still hoped that there would be a few more. Crab demon, what else do you have to say? After doing such a despicable thing, you still want to renege on your debt? The jellyfish commander's face was as black as charcoal, his killing intent soaring. The crab demon commander wanted to explain that this matter wasn't done by him, but before he could open his mouth, a voice rang out beside him. Renege on our debt? Who do you think you are? My crab demon clan is righteous and will never renege on our debt. If it was done by us, then it was done by us. It is impossible for others to pretend to be us. The stupid green crab demon shouted, I will say it directly. This matter was done by us. The poison was also done by us. The matter was also done by us. What can you do about it? You are just a defeated army, a disabled person who lacks an arm or a leg, and you still want to shout at my great crab demon clan? Have you considered your own abilities? Do you believe that we will immediately exterminate you and make a seafood feast today? If you know what's good for you, immediately surrender and become slaves. This way you can still live. Otherwise you will eat shit. It was extremely arrogant, and its mentality was especially inflated. This was a pig. The crab demon commander was so angry that his face turned green. Originally, if this matter was explained carefully, there would still be room for reconciliation. However, with this stupid guy shouting like this, there was no room for reconciliation. If the other party did not directly fly into a rage, it would already be considered that his temper was good. It was completely imaginable how angry the jellyfish clan and shark demon clan would be after hearing these words. Perhaps they even had the heart to exterminate the crab demon clan. Sure enough, the faces of the surrounding jellyfish clan and shark demon clan were as black as ink. They had never heard such arrogant words, nor had they seen such an arrogant murderer. Not only did he do something bad, he even dared to admit it in front of them. Not only did he admit it in front of them, but he did not stop. He even shouted that even if it was done by them, so what? What could they do to them? This was simply looking down on Demon Clan. There is a saying among humans, a dragon in shallow water will be played by shrimps, and a tiger in flat land will be bullied by dogs. The jellyfish commander looked up to the sky and shouted, "You motherfucker think that our jellyfish clan has gone through a great battle and suffered heavy losses, with countless casualties, that we cannot do anything to your crab demon clan. You actually dare to be so arrogant and shout at us. To tell you the truth, even if we are missing an arm or a leg, if we want to exterminate your crab demon clan, it is still a matter of seconds." The group of jellyfish clan was unable to restrain their anger. They hated that they could not immediately annihilate this group of arrogant crab demons. Not only the jellyfish clan but the shark demon clan was also furious. They, the shark demon clan, were known as one of the overlords of the endless sea. They had countless clansmen and were used to being tyrannical. Now, unexpectedly, they were looked down upon by the crab demon clan and schemed against like this. How could they bear it? Chapter 8:18. Go to hell. The jellyfish commander roared angrily and immediately launched an attack. He could no longer tolerate this arrogant crab demon race. They had brazenly framed him and the shark demon race to fight. If they still didn't fly into a rage, they would really think that they were soft persimmons that could be pinched whenever they wanted. They would lose all dignity. Crab demon, die for me. The shark demon also roared and followed closely behind. Although the previous matter was all nonsense and the purpose was to shift the blame to the crab demon clan, seeing the crab demon's arrogant appearance, it was now very doubtful whether the main culprit was really the crab demon. But no matter what, today he had to unite with the jellyfish clan and weaken the crab demon clan's power. Otherwise, the geocentric Ganoderma and the many elixirs on the Myriad Treasures Island would not have a share. The two clans attacked at the same time, creating an unprecedented pressure that made the crab demon clan's complexion change. You want to take our lives? You are not qualified. The crab demon commander wanted to stab that hothead to death. If it were not for this bastard, how could they face the situation of being besieged? But now was not the time to care about this. They were besieged by the two clans and reason did not make sense. The only solution was to destroy this group of enemies. Only then would they have a chance to survive. The crab demons went crazy. Their whole body emitted a red light, bursting out with golden heptachi cutting the earth. Indistinctly, there was the roar of swords as if thousands of soldiers and horses were shaking, swords and spears were facing each other. They did not need weapons at all. The two pincers on their body were the best weapons. They were indestructible and could cut through any enemy's defense. Some humans fought with the crab demons and killed them. They would bring back their pincers. This was an excellent weapon material. After smelting, forging, and purifying, it would become a divine weapon. Bang bang bang. A group of crab demons rushed up and fought with the two clans. They fought so hard that the sky fell and the earth cracked. The whole mountain seemed to be on the verge of collapse. Huge rocks were turned into powder. The scene was shocking. Fortunately, the jellyfish clan and the shark demon clan had fought to the death, reducing a lot of their strength. So the intact crab demon clan was able to fight evenly with the two clans. If he was at his peak, the crab demon would have been beaten up long ago. However, it was precisely because they were evenly matched that the battle was exceptionally bitter. Large amounts of blood flowed on the ground as astonishing cracks appeared on the ground. Whoosh! At this time, the arrogant green crab demon that had just been talking nonsense silently left the battlefield. It was invisible and none of the demons noticed it leaving. This green crab monster was none other than Xia Ping, who had used the Rui mask. He had disguised himself as a crab monster to sow discord, and he had achieved great success. No matter how hard this group of crab demons thought, they didn't know that there was a traitor among them. After all, there were so many crab demons. No matter how good the commander's memory was, it was impossible for him to remember every single one of them. It was normal for him to not recognize some of them. Therefore, Xia Ping's identity was not exposed at all, and he perfectly blended in. Chance. Xia Ping had already removed the power of the compliance mask and returned to his original appearance. After all, constantly using the compliance mask consumed a lot of his energy. If there was no need, he would not maintain the power of the compliance mask. At this moment, he was using the invisibility bead to distort light, achieving the effect of invisibility. No one could find his trace and soon he left the center of the battle between the three races. He moved forward, running towards the cave in the depths of the blazing mountain. At this time, there were no longer any demons guarding the depths of the cave. They had all joined the battle, fighting to the death. After all, this was a battle of life and death. No demon dared to hold back. Any living force had to join in, or the result would be total annihilation. A few minutes later, Xia Ping reached the deepest part of the cave. He saw that there was a huge lava lake in the depths of the cave. There was boiling lava everywhere, constantly bubbling and rising white air currents. The temperature inside the cave was extremely high, reaching hundreds of degrees. It was estimated that even steel would be melted in this place. If it wasn't for the protective aura that could isolate the heat, no living creature would be able to enter. And Xiaoping himself had cultivated the pure yang immortal incantation, controlling the power of the sun's essence. He did not care about the mere heat at all. Instead, it was like a tonic that was absorbed by him to replenish the energy he had consumed. This is the geocentric Ganoderma? Suddenly, Xiaoping's attention was attracted by a huge rock in the middle of the lava lake. On that rock, there was a strange red plant that looked like it was condensed from lava. Its body emitted a circle of strange red ripples, with its body as the center. A strange fragrance wafted out, relaxing and having the effect of calming one's mind. There were strange red lines on its body, as if it was formed by nature. It seemed to contain an incredible medicinal power, and there was a flame stored inside it. What a rich flame energy, what amazing medicinal power. It is indeed a peerless spiritual medicine. Xiaoping's eyes lit up. He felt that every cell in his body was stirring, sending out a signal, hoping to devour this spiritual medicine. This spiritual medicine not only seemed to contain abundant medicinal power, but more importantly, it had absorbed the endless essence of the lava, giving birth to a large amount of flame essence, geocentric fire. Could be said that this was a kind of heavenly fire. Although it was not the essence of the sun or the flame of life, it was still an incredible kind of fire, a rare treasure. If Xiaoping could devour this spiritual medicine, not only would he be able to obtain a large amount of medicinal power, but he would also be able to obtain this kind of heavenly fire, strengthening the power of the flame, and transforming the blood in his body. It hasn't ripened yet? Xiaoping narrowed his eyes. He used his mental power to probe, and immediately found that this geocentric Ganoderma had not ripened yet. It seemed to be constantly devouring the energy of the lava, waiting for it to blossom and bear fruit. And this would take at least 2 days. If it was a normal day he could wait, but now that he had missed this opportunity, there would probably not be a next time. Once the 3 races reconciled and sealed the cave again, it would be very difficult for him to enter again, and he might even have to pay a huge price. It doesn't matter if it hasn't ripened yet, I can speed up its ripening process. Thinking of this, Xiaoping's figure flashed, and he immediately jumped on top of that black rock. With a bang, he clapped his hands, and the energy of the flame of life immediately poured into it. The heavenly fire on Xiaoping's body, the flame of life, contained abundant life energy, and was very beneficial to the growth of various plants, and even living creatures, as it could speed up their growth process. Just accelerating the ripening of a spiritual medicine was child's play. Rumble, majestic life energy poured into the geocentric Ganoderma, and it devoured like a whale, greedily absorbing the flame of life. Chapter 8:19. Rumble. The moment the geocentric Ganoderma matured, it was as if it had transformed into a flaming lotus. Its roots plunged into the magma, and like a whale it swallowed a large amount of magma. With its body as the center, a huge red light immediately erupted, shooting straight into the sky, extending from the bottom all the way to the mouth of the volcano, like a red pillar of light, extremely astonishing. Even its body emitted a maddening fragrance. Every living creature that smelled this fragrance had an instinctive urge to swallow it. No one could resist this kind of astonishing fragrance, as if it had triggered the instinct of life. Oh no! Xiaoping's eyes flashed. He suddenly felt that something was wrong. He didn't think that when the geocentric Ganoderma matured, it would cause such an astonishing scene. How could the others not have discovered it? At this moment, at the foot of the volcano, a group of human warriors also discovered the abnormality of the flame mountain, and all of them were shocked. What's going on? The flame soared to the sky. Could it be that some treasure was born? There's still a question. It must be that the geocentric Ganoderma matured. Oh my god, there's actually such an astonishing scene. This geocentric Ganoderma is unimaginably precious. Go, this kind of elixir absolutely cannot fall into the hands of the sea demons. That's right, at most we'll fight them to the death. Wanting to monopolize this kind of elixir is simply a dream. Seeing such a scene, many human warriors were shocked, followed by greed. In the face of such a fortuitous encounter, no one could endure it. As for the threat of the sea demons, compared to obtaining the geocentric Ganoderma, it was not even worth mentioning. And the jellyfish, shark demons and crab demons, the 3 great races that were fighting, were suddenly stunned by the scene of the flame mountain, and for a moment all of them stopped fighting. Damn it, what's going on? Why is the geocentric Ganoderma maturing ahead of time? Wasn't it said that there were still 2 days? Could it be that something happened in the depths of the flame mountain? Go in immediately. Now is not the time to fight. If the geocentric Ganoderma is taken away, then our efforts these past few days will all be in vain. The complexions of the demons of the three major races greatly changed. They felt as if their peaches had been plucked. They had painstakingly guarded this place for several days, and many of their clansmen had died. If the geocentric Ganoderma were to be snatched away, they would even have the heart to go crazy. At this moment they were all telepathic and very tacitly stopped fighting. Compared to the geocentric Ganoderma, other conflicts could be temporarily put aside and discussed in the future. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. They immediately took action and rushed towards the flaming mountain. At this moment in the depths of the blazing mountain, with a paw, Xiaoping plucked the geocentric spirit mushroom and placed it into his space ring. At this moment, the phenomenon that filled the sky disappeared completely. It's a little troublesome. Xiaoping knew that he was indeed in big trouble. Originally, he wanted to silently pluck the geocentric Ganoderma, so that the demons of the three major clans wouldn't be able to discover him and silently make a fortune. However, the phenomenon of the geocentric Ganoderma maturing was astonishing. It was immediately discovered by the surrounding people. It was estimated that at this moment, the monsters of the three great races would be alarmed and attack. In reality, he had a communication device on him, which allowed him to contact Jianghu, who was hiding in a nearby mountain at any time. Jianghu used a scanner to search for enemies within a 10-kilometer radius, and promptly informed him of all kinds of information. Therefore, he knew the movements of the three great races monsters like the back of his hand. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. At this moment, the jellyfish, crab demons, shark demons, and other monsters came out from the outside, quickly surrounding the area. Immediately, they saw Xiaoping return from the black boulder. At this moment, the geocentric Ganoderma had already disappeared. Their expressions greatly changed. Human. The shark demon commander shouted, "Where's the geocentric Ganoderma? Where is it? Did you take it away?" Its eyes were wide open and even its heart was aching. It was filled with extreme grief and indignation. They had painstakingly guarded this flaming mountain for several days, and even had conflicts fighting to the death. Many of their clansmen had died. But now, the geocentric Ganoderma had disappeared without a trace. Right now, it even had the heart to kill. I'm not sure. When I arrived, it was already like this. Xiaoping blinked his pure eyes, indicating that he didn't know anything. Bullshit. The crab demon commander shouted, "You're still pretending. There's only you here. Besides you, who else could have taken the geocentric Ganoderma? Immediately confess, otherwise, you'll be in a difficult situation today." It was filled with murderous intent. The jellyfish commander was even more bewildered. They had already surrounded the entrance of the volcano so that not even a drop of water could trickle through. Even if a fly wanted to enter, it would be incomparably difficult. But how did this human come in? It instinctively felt that there was a huge problem with this human. It even had an inexplicable sense of familiarity, as if it had seen this human somewhere before. However, "All right, I admit I did indeed see something," Xiaoping said. "When I arrived here, I saw a monster. Its speed was very fast, and it immediately snatched away the geocentric Ganoderma." What? Many of the monsters' hearts tightened. The geocentric Ganoderma had indeed been snatched away by someone else. "Speak, where is that monster? Tell me the truth." The shark monster commander shouted, immediately interrogating him. Xiaoping casually pointed at one of the cave entrances and said, "It's that place. That monster left from this cave. It hasn't gone far. If we chase it now, we might be able to catch up." That cave entrance. Subconsciously, many of the monsters looked towards that cave entrance. Boom. At this moment, Xiaoping immediately used the Kunpeng steps. At the same time, he circulated the power of the invisible pearl to conceal his figure. Without a sound, he flew into the distance. Fuck, that human ran away. Immediately, one of the shark demon grandmasters shouted. It discovered that the human had instantly disappeared from where he was. It was unknown where he had fled to. Shameless human. Liar, humans are all liars. Their words can't even be trusted. Damn it, I already knew that the words of humans cannot be trusted. Why do I fall for it every time? The faces of the shark demon commander and the other monsters all turned green. Now, how could they not understand that the disappearance of the geocentric Ganoderma was definitely related to this shameless human? But they actually foolishly listened to his words and looked to the side. It was because of that moment of negligence that this bastard human had the opportunity to escape. Kill him. We definitely can't let him escape. Damned human, he should be executed. He wants to snatch away our geocentric Ganoderma? He's simply dreaming. Chase him and immediately seal the entire flaming mountain. I don't believe that he has wings and can still fly. Even if he can fly, we have to capture him and set up an inescapable net. This time, I will make it impossible for this damned human to escape even if he has wings. Chapter 820. Whoosh. In just a few breaths, Xia Ping had escaped from the depths of the cave and arrived outside. However, the jellyfish, shark demon, crab demon, and other monsters were still in hot pursuit. They displayed their extreme speed and chased after him. They would definitely not let the geocentric Ganoderma fall into the hands of others. Just as he left the cave and came to a flat ground outside, Xia Ping suddenly felt a palpitating aura, as if a great disaster was about to befall him. Boom! In midair, a huge hand came crashing down. It contained infinite power, and there seemed to be many mysterious runes condensing. It was as if Buddha had crushed Sun Wukong. The palm came crashing down, aiming at Xia Ping. Xia Ping's eyes flashed. The golden crow of hell cells in his body were boiling, and the gang energy in his body was running wildly. He reacted almost instantly. He transformed into a rock and wings grew out from his back. With a swoosh, he moved dozens of meters to the side, just in time to avoid this shocking palm. Dong. The palm came crashing down, and immediately a huge palm print with a diameter of dozens of meters was formed. The strong force swept in all directions, almost condensing into a solid substance. And the monsters that followed him out of the cave were caught off guard. They were hit by the aftermath of the palm. One by one they immediately let out shrill screams and were directly thrown out. They disintegrated in midair and turned into a mass of meat paste. Dozens of demons died with just that one palm. What? The jellyfish commander and the other monsters were instantly shocked, and their hair stood on end. This was because the power of this palm far exceeded that of a master, and it contained an unparalleled power. King. This was definitely the power of a king. Every cell in their body trembled, as if they had fallen into an ice cave, and fell into endless despair. Could it be that this human had a king beside him as a helper? If that was the case, they would definitely die today. None of them would be able to escape. Tieske, he actually didn't die from this palm. What a lucky human. A voice was heard, as if it was very dissatisfied with the power of its palm. It actually did not kill Xia Ping, which was a kind of shame to it. Many demons looked up. The one who spoke was a demon king. It was a gigantic black bear with a height of 7 to 8 meters. It floated in the air like a small mountain, giving off a lethal sense of oppression. With its body as the center, it produced a terrifying aura of a king. It was as if the moment it appeared, the area within a radius of several kilometers was completely under its control. Even the spirit chi of heaven and earth was under its control. This kind of power was similar to that of a god. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. But at that moment, 4 figures flew over from afar. Each of them had an aura no weaker than the black bear. There was a calf that emitted golden light all over. Its body was densely covered in mysterious inscriptions, and the depths of its horns seemed to contain the power of thunder, causing people to feel fear. Its 4 hooves walked in the air as if it was walking on flat ground. There was a white cat with the body of a tiger. It stood lazily on a floating cloud. It had sharp claws and a pair of cat eyes seemed to exude a cruel and evil aura. It was clearly a master who killed people like flies. It could probably tear a mountain apart with one of its claws. There was a giant snake that was dozens of meters long. Its body was covered in black scales. Its body was wriggling in the air, flicking its red tongue from time to time. It looked like a prehistoric giant beast. It seemed like this giant snake could devour countless lives if it opened its big mouth. There was also a black scorpion. Its body was filled with black poisonous fog. Demonic clouds rolled, forming a huge illusion behind it. Countless black scorpions gathered, forming an army that made people's scalps go numb. Once it attacked with all its strength, it would form a black scorpion disaster. Within 1,000 miles, not a single blade of grass would grow. These 5 demons were the 5 demon kings. Fuck, it really is a demon king. What's going on? Why would a demon king come to such a small place? We're really unlucky. How did we encounter such a thing? The jellyfish commander and the other sea demons' eyes turned green. They were terrified. Although sea demons were extremely arrogant and looked down on land demons, they were just ordinary demons. To a demon king, it was an existence above ordinary demons. It was a life form from another dimension. They were not on the same level at all. There was a huge difference. Even if they had the strength of a master, they were as weak as ants in front of a demon king. A single slap was enough to kill them dozens of times. The difference was unimaginable. Human Xiaoping. The Bear King looked down at Xiaoping. You should feel honored. You actually made the myriad demon mountain send us 5 demon kings just to kill a small human like you. Even if you die today, your name will go down in history. You will create a small miracle. What? The jellyfish commander and the other demons were shocked. They were still wondering why the demon kings were sent out, and 5 of them at that. It turned out that they were all chasing after this human. They were just collateral damage. The question was, what ability did this human have to make the 5 demon kings personally come out to kill him? How did you guys find me? Xiaoping looked at the group of demon kings calmly. His expression was very calm. He already knew that these 5 demon kings were lying in ambush here to give him a fatal blow. Under Jianghu's scanner, the whereabouts of these 5 demon kings could not be hidden. Therefore he was already prepared. However, these demon kings wanted to kill him. How could he not want to kill these demon kings to scare the monkeys? How did we find you? Your whereabouts are indeed very secretive. Ordinary people cannot follow you. The cat demon king laughed. But since you came to the Myriad Treasures Island, your goal is naturally the geocentric Ganoderma. As long as we stay in the Flaming Mountain and wait for the rabbit, you will naturally appear. Sure enough, now we have the chance to let you walk right into our trap. Their plan was very simple. That was to wait for the rabbit. Obviously they succeeded. They immediately blocked Xiaoping's path and formed a huge encirclement. Xiaoping. The Black Scorpion King shouted angrily. He stared at Xiaoping with hatred. Justice is clear. Karma is not good. Did you not think that you would end up like this today? That day you killed my son and used my son's head to climb to the top. Hiding in the human territory, you are so arrogant. Do you think that with a human king no one can do anything to you? But today I will kill you and take revenge for my son. Not only will you die, even your friends, lovers, relatives, and any human related to you will die. I will exterminate your entire clan and take revenge. His killing intent soared and his hatred overflowed. To the Black Scorpion King, what happened that day was a great humiliation. Not only was he unable to take revenge for his son's death, he was even forced to consider the bigger picture and compensate a large sum of money. His reputation as one of the 72 demon kings also plummeted and became a laughingstock. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.